Hello, welcome back to Greenville, and this should be an interesting final. If you've been with us this morning or this afternoon or however long it is, I don't even know what day or time it is anymore. Welcome back to Greenville. It has been an enthralling start to this DFDS Weekend League Premier T20 Finals Day. For those of you who maybe have been out and about and not focused on any cricket, you've missed out because in game one we had an absolute thriller. 199 plays 199, and it went to a super over, of which St Juan's hit 21 off their over, and then the Ed Giles show continued with 4 sixes to take OVs 1 through to the final, and they're batting first in this game, but also through to the European Cricket League 2026. It was an unbelievable game of cricket. At one point SOS were out of it. 111 for 5, 128 needed off 10 overs. They looked dead and buried, and Adam Hayward with an absolutely magnificent innings of 95 off not many balls at all. Took the game back in their favour. He got them within touching distance. They needed 6 off 3 balls. They got 5 of them, which meant a tie. Off the last ball they needed 2, and they got 1 by. Now Charlie Brennan and Johnny Heward opening the batting as Scott Van Breede comes in for Farmers. Charlie opening the batting on what would have been a potential king pair, having nicked off first ball this morning, so that's already an improvement from him. As I said, Farmers have won the toss, decided to field first, knowing that a lot of runs are chaseable on this ground, so not a surprise to see them opt to bowl first. Charlie Brennan, as I said, a danger man, facing up to Scott Van Breede. Welcoming back to the commentary box, the head groundsman and co-commentator for today is Dan Birrell.
Hi everyone. I have no idea how I've got this gig back, but must have done something right in that first fixture, so I'm going to come back and chew everyone's ear off on this fine Saturday afternoon here in Jersey. Decent start, this with a couple of buzzers to get Charlie Brennan off his king pair, as Leroy's just mentioned, which he wasn't too happy about in the halfway point. But we're back and ready for it. We've got big Scott Van Breede, Jersey rugby boy. Pretty much nothing this man can't do. Absolutely smashes the ball, hoops it up top, which he's going to look to do here.
Yeah, so this is where it gets interesting, because a lot of cricket knowledge comes from knowing the wicket. OVs have played on this pitch this morning. Johnny Heward's already batted out there, and he's batted well. That feels like 2 days ago now. But there's an advantage in that, but then obviously the disadvantage is that they've just come off one of the biggest emotional games of cricket they could possibly get. So it's to and fro with a fresh Farmers side coming in at this after having not played much, well, not played at all today yet. Coming fresh with fresh energy. The two sides, OVs have made one change. Not on this one. They've made one change. I know they have. Sam Patidar steps out and James Wiseman comes in. And Farmers, their lineup is strong. It is full of international experience. You've got Reece Palmer as captain, Nick Greenwood, Julius Sumerauer, Will Pershard, Chuggy Pershard.
Shot.
Oof. And Johnny took some evasive action, which I'm not sure would have helped him had the ball hit the stumps, but trying to evade it, he still got hit, so didn't really do it that well. Finishing the Farmers lineup, Jack Kemp behind the stumps. You've got Stan Norman, Toby Britton, George Richardson, and on that far cover boundary, James Smith. So a very, very talented Farmers lineup here. This is by certainly the strongest 11 they've got out this year. Will, Stan and George all coming back from university just adds to their bowling depth that we'll see in the short term.
On that point, Bino, who are you most looking forward to watching bowl today? I mean, these are two pretty strong sides. Probably, it is the final, so definitely the two strongest lineups in this competition. I mean, I can't Literally
I know
get
who
past
you're
my
gonna
buddy Jules. I feel like he fires up for these sorts of moments. George Richardson bowling quick at the minute as well on a fast Grainville bouncy deck. I think they're going to both be my two picks that I'm looking forward to watch bowling here. We mentioned young TP earlier, so the battery of seamers here as the Jersey captain Chuggy Pershard is about to open his box of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the Farmers lineup has everything that you want. It has the quality of the Julius Sumerauer, who everybody knows and has seen his exploits across European cricket, and for Jersey you've got Nick Greenwood, who is a professional cricketer for Wellington, who is a classy batsman in all formats and a wily off spinner / leg spinner when he fancies it. Reece Palmer skippering as I'm not sure if he'll bowl. I'm not sure he's 100% fit to bowl. He was talking about a back injury, but he's certainly an option. Toby Britton, very good young left arm spinner. I think what they've got is they've got a perfect mix of experience and youth. So this is going to be a very difficult game for anyone who got through to this final. Certainly the semi-final this morning was a big game for both teams, with qualification for European cricket on the line, and also a spot in the final. So this isn't necessarily what they would be solely focused on, but they've got to go again now. OVs, they've got to pick themselves up after that emotional roller coaster. They've had a bit of time to reflect and get ready for this game, so they've got to be ready to go from ball one here.
I think one thing that we probably might need to discuss is par here. Obviously a slow start for the OVs here. I think they've got to be careful not to get bogged down after getting stuck in. I think Farmers won the toss today.
Farmers did win the toss and elected to field first.
So yeah, I feel like they're gonna have to go at a decent rate here, because that Farmers batting lineup is an absolute joke.
Yeah, listen, it was up in the air. Big moment in the game with Will Pershard underneath it. Maybe slightly misjudging the flight of it. Made it a more difficult catch than he potentially needed to, but he was full stretched, under pressure a little bit. Certainly the crowd on the bank are starting to fill their boots, let's say, as the day's gone on. Certainly the last game people would have been thirsty. But yeah, you can see straight away here that I don't think we've seen one ball pitched up at a half volley length yet. I think this Farmers side have watched what they saw this morning, have got the experience to execute. I think we're going to see a lot of balls top of the stumps and shorter, where it's not going to be easy to just stand there and hit through the line now. So Chuggy with the ball in his hand will swing it away from the left-hander. He absolutely loves the matchup of a left-hander, but Charlie Brennan can be dangerous on his day. This is where OVs have got to really hope that game one, they knew what they were coming up against. They had a sort of spin-heavy attack to take on, and they did it well. This Farmers unit are going to pose a very different threat. As you say, the extra pace of Julius Sumerauer mixed in with the skills of Chuggy and Will Pershard, the wily spin of Nick Greenwood and Toby Britton.
Oh, great effort from that man, as we just said, from Greenie. Serious player. I mean, very professional in everything that he does effectively. Just a decent effort there at point. This ball just gets out of his grasp.
It would have been a great catch, one-handed above his head. Tried to get up the ladder as high as he could, but just didn't stick. Those ones will either just stick in the hand or pop out like it did. So good start here for Farmers. This is certainly not what OVs would have wanted. When we know, you talked about par score before. I think if we're using our maths, it's not difficult to predict that 199 would be the par score for this one. But at 7 for none off 2, they're going to have to start at some point. Scott Van Breeder to continue from the far end. He's certainly not going to bowl you bad balls. He doesn't provide you width. He doesn't go too full. He doesn't go too short. He bangs out a length, and he makes you have to do the hard work.
I think, as we discussed earlier, I think with this OV's batting lineup, I think it's one of those sort of scenarios where if you're sort of not going at a run a ball here, I mean, two lads getting quite bogged down here in the power play. I know that the power play is something that both teams look to get a hold of, but I think if you're not doing your job here with a bat, I think you've got to try and do something and either get out of the way so that people like Ed Giles, Corey Bisson, even big James Wiseman, I'm looking forward to him striking a ball if he manages to get in. As Brennan absolutely leathers one through mid-wicket region for 4.
It's 4 runs. They needed that, as you said. They're not striking up above 100. In fact, Charlie, even with that boundary, is 7 off 7 now at exactly 100. Johnny's 5 off 7. We saw him this morning play well over mid-off an extra cover. I think farmers have certainly watched the game this morning and will adjust their plans accordingly, and they're going to need Charlie Brennan to keep going here.
I think something that we discuss as a Jersey setup is sort of them calculated risks that you take if you are getting bogged down. I mean, Brennan sort of standing on top of the bouncer one there and pumping it through his strong area of mid wicket. I hope he won't mind me saying that, but looks to cut. And if that shot's not on for him with no width on offer from the Farmers bowlers early doors, I think he needs to start taking some calculated risks and getting up to that runner ball plus on a short outfield and a nice wicket.
Yeah, I think the big thing here for OVs is that they know they've got a bowling attack which is full of variety and full of quality. They're going to have to work out which bowler am I going to target here, which bowler is my matchup, which bowler do I want to take down, because you've got 4 overs of Julius Sumerauer, you've got 4 overs of Toby Britton, you've got 4 overs of Chuggy, so you're looking at probably 12 overs of high quality bowling. You throw in another potential 4 overs of Nick Greenwood, you run out of options quite quickly. So these guys are going to have to work out, right, how am I going to go about my runs if I've got that quality of overs coming against me? And at the moment, I think they're probably a little bit behind where they would like to be. Certainly 10 through the power play seems very achievable today. So, yeah, we've got 1 ball left at this over. You'd have to think that Johnny needs to be looking for a boundary here.
Yeah, I definitely think in an ideal world this OV's batting line up here, if Johnny and Charlie can sort of get them through this power play, sort of 40 for none or something like that, which would be a nice touch for them with the firepower that they've got coming in later on in the day. I think that's be quite a good setup.
As we talk about that, gives himself a bit of room into the offside, through the infield, 4 runs. That's good batting from Johnny there. He knew he had to try and find the boundary. Scott Van Breede, I mean, he's missed his Yorker. Maybe he hasn't even missed his Yorker. It's just good batting in the way that he's managed to get there. It's such fine margins for seamers in this game. You wouldn't say that was a bad ball in the slightest. Johnny's managed to open the wrist and get it through backward point for 4. So that slow start just starting to eke up. 6.3 runs and over. They would have liked a few more, but the issue they've got, as I mentioned, is that the potential X factor in this attack of Julius Sumerauer is on to bowl. Now, you know, one thing that a lot of batters will tend to say is that the quicker it comes, the quicker it goes. So certainly batters won't be phased necessarily, but it certainly is experience. He's not just a quick bowler who will just come in and bowl quick the whole time. He's got skills that he can use in his armoury all the time. He's got execution, so we're excited to see how this matchup goes. And there you go. Immediately,
inside edge.
Inside edge. The quicker it comes, the quicker it goes. That's the risk you take sometimes. We've seen it in a jersey shirt before, where Jules is not always rewarded for how well he's bowled. You know, at that pace, a little inside edge like that flies past the keeper before he's even noticed, and it's 4 runs, and all of a sudden the shackles feel a bit easier. But it's the way that you have to go about it as a batter here, isn't it?
One thing that I would say about Jules here is those little fine moments in games which do fire you up as a fast bowler. He is definitely not the sort of guy that I would want to be firing up at that sort of pace. I mean, an inside edge for 4 that's just beaten the keeper will definitely fire him up a few notches. So I think this one might be a wee bit quicker. Oh, and he's slapped
straight at us. And that's a fantastic shot. That's a length that is on this wicket, probably in between. I think, you know, I think he's got to be top of the stumps, or it's got to be at the head. I think that was sort of chest high, which is just, it's not sat up, but it's easier to hit on this wicket. Charlie's given himself some room there to free his hands. He's absolutely smoked it for a 1 bounce 4 that just went past us, but it's that length, in between length, he needs to be either fuller or a touch shorter.
I mean, it's massively beneficial for Charlie. He would have known Jules' character there. He knows that he's inside edged him for 4, and this one is potentially going to be halfway down. Jules has just missed his either bouncer length or good length, as you mentioned there. Quite hittable for Brennan. Top class player. Not really too scared of any sort of bowler coming in at him. And as he's demonstrated there, just stood on top of the bounce and flat battered it through mid-on.
Young Charlie Brennan, 100 at Lords earlier in the season for an ICC Europe under-23 team. So this boy is not fazed by a big occasion. He comes with runs under his belt. He's got confidence. He can take any attack down on his day. And this is a really good matchup of two high-quality cricketers that we want to see on finals day. It's still in the power play, 27 for none, with 2 balls left in the 4th over. Ovi's just starting to come back into it after an excellent Farmers start, but we've seen 2 boundaries, 2 dots. What have we got next? No, he's just... You can see what he wants to do here. He wants to go through the offside. Everybody in the offside is up, so the boundary's there. He wants it, but Julius is not giving it to him.
No, he's a very canny bowler. I mean, that to me looked like a little change up of pace there from Jules. I mean, it's very, very subtle in the hand. It doesn't give much away, runs at the same pace, doesn't change much in his action. And that's why he's had so much success on that European stage, and a hell of a cricketer. I mean, ever since growing up, he's been top quality. And oh my word, I don't think that would have been one to rub down from Charlie Brennan. I think if that missed the thigh pad, that might bruise up a wee bit, because that looked pretty quick on the full.
Yeah, it's an old game of cat and mouse, isn't it? It's what we've seen earlier. We talked about it earlier, about T20 batting, about T20 bowling. A lot of the game is mental. It's understanding, we saw in Robbie Forrest's dismissal earlier against Ed Giles, where 2 balls in a row, he'd come down the track to try and hit him back over his head. Giles dropped it short for the 3rd one, and he spooned it to extra cover. It's that sort of experience and sort of talent that you need that says, right, I'm going to try, and if I'm on top, what's the bowler thinking now? So, you've just, as a youngster there, that you talked about there with Charlie, the first ball was sort of a nick through fine leg. He's probably got a good instinct that Julius is going to go short next ball, in either as a plan or in a slight anger to try and dominate him a touch. But it's that cat and mouse game. Can you get one ahead of the bowler? Can you try and understand what they're going to do? The field is one indication, so generally with the way that the fields are set, that'll give you an indicator as to what the plan is, but it doesn't tell you what's coming down at you. So the experience, that's where it makes a difference as a batter. And although Charlie Brennan is young in numbers, he's certainly not young in experience. He's been around a long time now, and as with a lot of the Jersey batters or Jersey cricketers, they get into the side early and get a lot of experience from a young age, as one comes in now in George Richardson.
No, he's definitely put on a fair few yards of pace in the last time. He's been working hard. He's struggled a lot with injury actually in the past couple of years. He's worked extremely hard to get himself back into that Jersey lineup. He's bowling some pretty quick stuff at the minute. He was unfortunate to obviously not get a game, but he bowled extremely well in all the warm-up games whilst we were away for the World Cup qualifier in the Netherlands. And I mean, obviously another exciting young Jersey seamer that comes through the ranks that has worked extremely hard to be where he is. So I'm looking forward to watching what he's got about him today.
Yeah, we were talking to Chuggy earlier about what it's like on those trips. You've done it a lot yourself as a sort of 12th, 13th, 14th man within a squad. You're away at an international tournament. No playing 11 or space in the 11 is given. Just because you're available for a tour doesn't mean that you're going to get picked. He spoke about Theo Pullman, George Richardson, Will Pershard on the previous trip being 3 young seamers who didn't get a game. Mainly conditions were the reason for that, with spin-friendly wickets that weren't bouncing too much. You've done that yourself. I've been there with you. Talk me through the mindset that you need to be able to get through those years to ultimately come through when you need to.
I think the one thing that there's always sort of, as Johnny Heward pulls a sort of a half tracker from George Richardson off the belly button for 4 through mid wicket. But back to your question, I mean, I think one thing that is massively beneficial to us as a unit is that we're very, very close knit. I think as that close unit, sort of developed. So I think you need to sort of respect the people that have come before you and how hard they've worked to be where they are and how much time they've spent off the park, running the drinks, being injured, doing whatever. I think one thing that got me through them I did 6 weeks in Africa, no game. I'd been on a fair few tours myself without having the ball in an actual fixture. I think sort of like, sounds very cliche, but trusting the process of what you've done to be there and how much you deserve that spot, that it's just a matter of time that it's going to come, and when that opportunity does arise, that you sort of grab it with both hands and prove why you should be in that team for good. You know what I mean? I did a tour to Oman, didn't play a game, and sort of got my chance in a dead rubber against Bermuda and took it with both hands and sort of proved myself. And I think the more opportunities that you get, even if they are once every couple of fixtures. Is that a mixer, or is Jules just going to safe pair of hands underneath that? I mean, Johnny's just spooned one up to sort of the mid-off region where Jules has come around and swooped it, but looked like a pretty good length hittable ball to me.
That's it. I think that's the difference there. That's he's tried to hit it back over his head, which he did successfully very well this morning. But it's that length. That's the top of the stump's length. It looks to the batter to be full, but we're talking the difference of 6 inches here. We're talking 6 inches between the middle of your bat and 6 runs, and 6 inches between the sort of top edge blade of your bat, as you'll see here, sort of on the way to the top of the stumps, maybe leaning back slightly, but doesn't clear mid-off, who I think was Julius Sumerauer, who has a good pair of hands, and
I'm going to say
exactly
something
what's going on.
I'm going to say something here. If this is Scott Simpson that's coming in at 3 here, he could have a nosebleed when he gets to the time of the wicket, because I've never seen this before, him batting this low down the order. I think what they'll be trying to do is what we discussed earlier about potentially trying to get that run rate up with someone down here that can try and hit the ball for 6. Similar, not your typical number 3, I don't think. Not in this lineup either, but
it's a tactic we've seen used in T20s before. The sort of term that came into the game was pinch hitters, where you sort of, your Sunil Narines, those sorts of things that you see typical lower order batters who have the ability to clear the ropes go up the order to try and take on the power play. So we'll see how he goes here.
I hope he makes me eat my words as he gets absolutely sniffed by George Richardson, which is
this is it. I'm not thinking he's going to leave too many balls, but he's left the first one, but he's got 1 over left of this power play. Certainly me and you both knowing Simo will know that if given the opportunity, he was always going to take this on. He's up for it. He likes the competition. He loves a contest. He gets right up for it. So we'll see how he goes here, but I think it's not a bad play from OVs. I do think though, if you get away from a simple game plan, this is a good wicket. It's still a 200 wicket. It's a 180 at least wicket. You want your best batters facing the most amount of balls, right? Definitely.
I would definitely say so. I mean, I'm not too sure how the OVs feel about this game. Obviously, they've sealed what they wanted to seal, which is ECN in 2026, which is obviously exciting for everyone. But one thing that I would say is that if they are going to sort of play around with the order a wee bit and sort of give different people a chance up the order, I think this could be quite a long day for them. And the fact that I don't think Farmers are going to take this game too lightly as their only game of the day.
Well, this is the risk. This is what you do. You send up a Scott Simpson to up the run rate and clear the ropes, but what can happen at the same time is then dot balls. It can be dot and 4, or it can be dot dot dot, which loses momentum. We're starting to see OVs with a little bit of momentum before that wicket. Johnny Heward got a couple away. Charlie Brennan's got a few away. It can go either way. It's the risk you take. There could be 3 or 4 dot balls here, which ekes up pressure and then waste balls for batters who would come later.
Definitely. I mean, as I said before, very strange. One thing that I would say is he has a serious piece of willow in his hands, that Kipax that the head coach, Paul Hutchinson, sorted him out. It's a nice blade, so if he does connect with anything, it does usually go a long way. I've seen Simo hit a golf ball. We've talked a lot about good golfers today in these 2 fixtures, and Simo hits the golf ball a long way, so he's hoping to do this to the cricket ball now.
There is one of them. That's certainly enough onto the bank.
Huge. So Simo sort of picks up a sweep shot here off the Jersey captain Chuggy, and disappears onto the bank, he'll be happy with that.
You've teed that one up nicely. You've teed that one up nicely. Interesting you said good golfers. Well, I don't think we've spoken about good golfers today. I think we've spoken about golfers who can hit the ball a long way. There's a distinguishing factor between the two of them there, but this is the risk. We saw a dot ball followed by a 6. He's got 3 more balls here.
As I said earlier, I mean, Sumerauer is a great young man. Well, great young man, I say that. He's not young, but he's a great friend of mine. I really do hope that he makes me eat my words at batting at 3, and I hope he gets a big run. But I think the carry on there of where he's missed a full ball and then practice a back foot punch pretty much proves to everyone that's watching on this stream that he doesn't really bat all that much. But hopefully he can just keep hopping across the line and hoying it over Cal for 6.
What it is with Simo is it's never boring.
No, definitely
as
not.
we can see, as I spoke about before, we've had in his 4 balls in this over, he's had dot, 6, dot, dot. So this is the trade-off when you send a power hitter or a pinch hitter towards the top of the order, is that the dots are going to increase, but your chance of boundaries go up, and he needs to finish with one here really. It's well bowled by Chuggy. Pace off into the wicket, that's experience right there for you. He knew he was going to come at him. Into the wicket, watched his movements and then adjusted as he see fit. So I'd say on as even, 8 off the over, 41 for 1 off the power play. Not the power play OVs would have hoped for, but as we saw in game 1, they didn't get off to an absolute flyer. It wasn't like they were 70 off 6 to get to 199. They do have a big depth in their batting lineup. We saw that in game 1 with the likes of Bo Gurner batting at 7 and Jamie Watling I think was at 8. So these names are people who can clear the ropes. These names are players in this game who can have a big impact. So the one thing you would say about OVs is that, you know, the likes of James Duckett there, Corey Bisson still to bat. Sorry, young Freddie Harben looks like he's come in. We'll need to double check that that's the correct team sheet, but we'll work it out from there and let you know. But yeah, 41 for 1 off the power play, and I think it would be okay. You're not panicking. One wicket down if you're OVs, but it's not 60 if you're farmers.
No, I think by the early signs of it are that they're looking to backload this innings towards their tail. Well, I say their tail, but I assume they're going to have some pretty big hitters coming in, and Ed Giles, Corey Bisson, and everyone else that are going to look to increase this run rate. 41 for 1 after the power play is by no means a bad total at all. I think OVs will be pretty happy with that. One thing they do need to be careful of is obviously what we discussed, is this Farmers bowling attack is a serious bowling attack. There's not many hittable bowlers on here as Rico comes in to bowl Simo. Bumper, top edge over the short third man. Is he going to get there? Yeah. So that's the sort of luck that these OVs lads would be looking for. But I definitely think they're going to try and backload this innings to sort of the last maybe 6 to 8 overs, I think, and let their ball strikers come in and have a wee bit of fun on a nice wicket down here at Greenville.
Yeah, well, that's the risk you take with the little bit of self-promotion there, Daniel, before I move on. No, that's the risk you take, isn't it? The field's up in the offside. A well-directed bump up with fine leg back is a good option, but the risk you take is the top edge for 4. Ooh, umpire unmoved. Thought it was on the way down.
That's good.
I'd like to see a replay. The seamer next to me saying it's good.
That's good. Batter's game.
Not surprising to hear that, but yeah, we're just working out the exact teams. I believe James Wiseman and Freddie Harben are playing in this game, so we just need to work out that playing 11. But from what I've been told, we've got Bo Gurner out and Sam Patidar out for Wiseman and Harben, so we'll work that one out for you and get back to you soon. As Brennan. Charlie Brennan plays a very aggressive shot using his feet to come down the wicket. Simo running well between the wicket, takes on Reese at long on and gets 2. That's good running, that's the right intent. Charlie Brennan needs to face more cricket balls here. It's 22 of 18, he's their danger man. They've got men in the hutch, but this is certainly what Brennan likes. He's pace on, small leg side boundary, or be fair, probably one of the bigger ones today, but not really that small if you're Charlie Brennan with the willow in your hand.
No, definitely not. And it's someone that he's faced quite a lot as growing up in age group cricket. So see what he can do against him here.
Is that enough? Oh, almost.
Not the man I would want to be hitting it to. Jules is a serious athlete and absolute hell of a fielder. So he'll be a bit wound up by that one, just beating him over his head.
He will be frustrated with that one, won't he? Brennan just clears him, goes for 4, as I can see Charlie's mum and dad coming into the ground with young Reggie. 4 Brennans now out there, which is good for the pipeline of Jersey cricket. Another pipeline of Jersey cricket who I believe is tuning in are the Gomersals, having their barbecue. I've just been sent a text message asking for a shout out. Those ribs look fantastic, whoever's been on the barbecue, and I believe you're all watching. Plenty of those. They've been starring for our Lionesses this week against Northern Cricket Union, who we saw. They've got a tour later on in the summer, the Lionesses under 13s to Malvern, of which I'm sure Rich is very thankful for us, because that's a big payment coming in from mum and dad for all of them going away. So hope that they're enjoying their barbecue, enjoying tuning in, and I hope the rest of you watching are enjoying some good cricket. We're 53 for 1 off 7 now. Brennan continues to strike above 100. Simo is 12 off 9. So the game's moving forward. The runs are coming without any wickets, but I still wouldn't say that Farmers feel in any panic here. It doesn't feel as if OVs are getting away from them. It doesn't feel as if they're taking the game to OVs. It's still very evenly poised over the next few overs.
No, definitely not. But one thing to note here is 7th over, just outside the power play, is usually quite a big over in the game of T20. And it's probably, I feel incredibly harsh saying this, but in terms of this Farmers bowling attack, I think that if I was down in Charlie Brennan's shoes there, I would probably be looking to attack this one at 7th over, sort of. Yeah, you're not too. Well, it's not even the 7th over; it's the 8th, so that's a good start. But I think if I was picking bowlers to attack, I hate to say it, Will P, but I would probably be trying to get after this one. I mean, I hope again that he makes me eat my words here and takes Pfeiffer, because he's a great lad and a hell of a young talent.
Yeah, listen, this is what can happen, and this is what you earn as a seamer when it's your opportunity. It might be that the ones before you have done the job to sort of squeeze the batters and put pressure on them to have to do something. You might then get that opportunity to pick up the wickets. We've seen him take loads of wickets in European cricket. He was, I think, joint leading wicket taker for Farmers not so long ago. So he's got the skills and the ability to pick up wickets as he goes. But he might go for a few along the way. Lovely hands from young Kempy behind the stumps there. Very sharp, stood up to, well, you wouldn't say a medium pace. You'd say Will's got a little bit more than that. He'll
100%.
bowl his slower balls. He's got his cutters into the wicket. And another one of those dot balls that aren't helping Farmers.
Extremely talented bowler. I mean, I wasn't by any means saying that this lad is not talented. I was just be saying, from an OV's perspective, you'd probably be looking to kick on as Charlie whips this one off his legs and goes for 6 over sort of a deep square leg behind square. I'm just going to actually disappear off the microphone and go and get some sauce for my Southern Fried Chicken wrap, which
the hard-working groundsman / co-commentator has just had his dinner arrive, and with some rain due at some point this evening, whether it will come before this game completes or not, the way that the day's gone so far, put your money on chaos, because that's the theme of the day. So a bit of rain comes in, could be interesting. We're told we're due a shower soon, not anything persistent, so we're hoping to get a full game in before around 8 o'clock this evening, when it sounds like there's some quite heavy rain coming in after that. So we're hopeful of getting this game in. Stay with us, see what happens. And there you go, just as we're talking about it, a wicket from Will Pershard. There was a bit of discussion around how they would go about it. 6 dot, and then a wicket caught deep cover. A good innings there from Charlie without going ballistic. 33 of 23, he'll be happy with. Got them off to a start, was looking to take the game to the opposition, and as we mentioned, wickets can be picked up when all of a sudden there's a sort of need to push on. Now, the nice shot, well executed, but probably too well executed as it reached the man right on the boundary, who was most likely receiving a few choice words from individuals on the boundary who know him very well. So that's all part of the fun around here, where a lot of people know each other. Once you get into the pressure situations, you might receive a bit of stick from the sideline. So well caught there by James Smith out on the boundary. That brings Corey Bisson to the crease. Obviously a dangerous cricketer who we saw this morning come in, opening the batting, I believe, and take the game on. He's sort of got a freedom of mind where, you know, getting out doesn't worry him. So he's going to come in, he's going to try and score his runs as quick as he can. And if him and his best mate who lives together, Simo, get going, they could be in for it. There you go. First ball. And right in the middle of 2. So 4 off his first ball. As my nose tells me, Dan's about to tuck into his food because there's some vinegar just gone on the chips, which is very thoughtful of him. But 4 for Corey first ball, and this is where the game's going to start becoming interesting. He's not going to hang around here. You've got Ed Giles still to come, who, for those of you who watched this morning, know how devastating he can be. Jamie Watling still to come. Rob Duckett. Captain James Duckett, we haven't seen yet, who scored 70 off 30 this morning and hasn't got in the top 4, so he must be pretty tough on himself, that boy. But
this is definitely someone that Farmers lads will not want to get going here. Is Corey Bisson. He's actually sort of come back to the great game after a little bit of a brief break, but fallen back in love with it, and he scored some decent runs this year. So it's something that the Farmers lads will definitely be wary of as he sat up the other end.
That's well bowled. It's tight wide. It is a wide. I'm not questioning the umpire's decision, but it's that bat, as we say, a batter's game. It's well executed. Slower ball, way outside off stump. I'd just like to make a quick apology just in case you pick up on any munching behind the microphone here. Dan, one thing I do know about him is that his eating is never tidy. So if you do pick up on the microphone any noises, I apologise in advance, but he's excited. And that is exciting. Right to the top of the hill, the OV supporters who have been giving it lows to the fielders with their moment have decided to back away from the ball and let it go through to the rugby pitch. So the what's it about the man in the arena, something like that?
Yeah, I've heard that one before, but
lots of abuse from the boundary for the fielders, and then their opportunity to take one and they duck out the way. But regardless, Simo rolls on. Big over that one. 18 off his first, but he did pick up the wicket of Charlie Brennan. So honours even, I'd say, or maybe OV's over, with still 12 overs to go, but 8 wickets in hand. 71 now. Run rate's up to 8 and 8.8. We're yet to see spin, which is surprising. In my book, against Corey, you're either putting it up at his head or you're going to take pace off it.
Indeed, definitely.
Greeny, with his experience, would be my choice, but you've got Toby Britton or the captain himself if he fancies it.
I think they might have just watched that first game and just seen what actually happened to the spin as Leroy tucks into one of my vinegar coated
I took
chips.
my life into my own hands.
One thing I'd love to see here is the 2 housemates get going and get themselves a partnership. As Porky sort of cloths one out to deep long on.
He is a dangerous hitter when he gets going. Certainly he's going to be tested a bit by the short ball here. There's a general feeling that if there is a weakness to him, it is one that gets up by his nose, but if he knows that and the bowlers know that, it's game on, because these boundaries aren't big enough if he gets going. He's a very dangerous hitter, as those you remember for many years in a jersey shirt. He can be dangerous when he gets going. Big flail away for one there from Simo. He's batted nicely here. We've 18 off 10, or going to be 19 off 11, I believe.
That is not the shot of a number 11 in my eyes. He's just walked down and sort of flayed that over sort of point region for one. I mean, probably deserved more than that, but here we are. Oh,
Yeah,
well bowled.
there we go again. That's a good short ball. That's the sort of ball where it's not that easy to keep down, first of all, but it's good pace.
Great pace. I mean, if I was bowling to to Porky here, that's exactly where we would be going. I mean, we've been lucky enough to watch him bat a lot, and in all my time, he's never enjoyed facing balls in and around his throat that much. I don't think anyone does.
Anyone does enjoy
But
it.
I've definitely seen people face the short ball a little bit better than our Porky.
I'm going to put you under the spot with a question in a second, Dan. Oh, he slipped on your square there.
No,
It's not what you want to see,
now,
but
now.
all good. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you enjoy more, a well-directed bumper or the Southern fried chicken wrap you've got in front of you right now?
I'm going to have to say a well-directed bumper. However, that is no discredit to James Robertson and the team at the Boundary, who serve up exquisite food for us here up at the National Cricket Centre in Grainville, which I hope everyone's enjoying out here today.
Yeah, if you're able to get
it's
yourself
in
up
the
here,
air.
get yourself up here, collision.
Oh, not the
or
sort
you
of
can
bloke
see
that I
it.
would want to be running into
can
is Scotty Van Breeder. I tell you that for absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure in the Siam Cup this year he knocked someone spark out in a tackle. So
Yeah,
if they pan to him with his absolute pipes of doom there.
I've been up the rugby club and I've witnessed him under a few high balls, but I certainly would rather just leave him to it than go anywhere near him.
Yeah.
As that ball's on the way down. James Smith there, taking his life into his own hands, trying to take that catch, but it's ended up at 1. That's the short ball, and that is the wicket. That is what we've been talking about. So there we go. I think he's actually probably hit it quite well. One of the best ones he's hit, but that's what we've seen throughout today. We've got that, the boundaries as they are. He's hit them well. Those ones you either want to cloth or get over. So the OV's lineup continues to surprise us. Young Freddie Harben walking out to the middle now. Captain James Duckett, after his fantastic knock this morning, moving down the order. Not sure what he would have needed to do to get a promotion, but so be it. We've still got some batting to come. Young Freddie, only 15 years old, star batter in our under-15s, also playing in our under-19 side, has been turning out for OVs for a little while now. So
He's scored some runs this year, Freddie.
Yeah, he's 100 in the thirds, 100 in the seconds. He's scored a lot of runs. His weight of runs have got him an opportunity. You'd say in this situation he's probably in the toughest situation you could probably face as a junior cricketer in Jersey right now, with
100%.
the likes of Toby Britton and this Farmers attack. This is a situation that is going to be a huge learning experience for him, regardless of how he goes. They need to score runs. This is a good wicket. If they're going to win, they're going to need up 180 plus. They put some faith in the young lad who has walked to the wicket, and let's see how he goes.
Yeah, I think this will be a nice challenge. I mean, as we discussed earlier, young Freddie coming in, he's not shy of confidence either, and I think he will look to take on this Farmers attack. However, the lad up the other end, Scott Simpson here, my good mate Simo, hopefully he will definitely watch this back to clip up these dingers. So
on their plasma TV.
all I want him to do is get some runs here. As he, oh my word, he'll be clipping that one as he dispatches it over extra cover for 6. So Simo, when this is eventually on your Instagram story, you can thank me later for bigging you up there.
I think you can tell from Dan's tone of voice there that might have been a bit of a surprise to you to see him open up and go over extra cover.
Serious shot.
Simo can hit a clean ball, strikes it a long way. I would say predominantly leg side player, but he's just proven us wrong. Opening up his feet, hitting over extra cover. That's a wonderful cricket shot, and that is a welcome to the game, Toby Britt.
He's someone that works extremely hard in training, Simo, and he's definitely worked very, very hard on his batting this year. He's worked hard indoors in the winter. It's starting to come into show now.
Listen, for all we talk about Simo, and he's a lad who invites the sort of chat between people or not. He is, one thing you have to give him is that he's come into the fold later in his career. He's never stopped working at his game. He's never stopped backing himself. The natural way for people to break into the Jersey team is to be extremely good when you're young and earn your way into it. Whereas I think Simo was around 28, maybe later, when he debuted for Jersey. He's always been a decent cricketer. He's a left-arm seamer, so a point of difference. But you've got to take your hat off to someone who has that motivation and has that focus to be able to turn up to training. He was unlucky to miss out in the T20 in the Netherlands, and having spoken to Chuggy and Hutch, he was asking for the reasons why. He wants to know why. He's that sort of mentality, which is what we want within Jersey cricket. We don't want people accepting not being selected. We want people to work hard. It's an open door policy, particularly with new coach Paul Hutchison. One of the first things he did was wanted to increase the depth available to him, of which people like Scott Simpson have really benefited from.
Yeah, I mean, for Simo, like, such a great character. He probably would have never expected to be in the Jersey shirt this late in his career, as Toby Britton picks up his first wicket for Farmers, as he sort of jams in a little Yorker there, and Freddie Harvin looks to turn it into the onside and lead an edge to point. I think it was Greeny that snaffled that one. Pretty regulation catch. He would have been fuming if he dropped that, and I think Toby would have been as well. As we might get into the lads that we were looking to get stuck into a little bit earlier here for the OVs, as that Daffy walks into, but
tough on young Freddie. That's a tough situation to come into. It's a top left arm spinner. It's a difficult situation when you're posting. You don't know what you need. So he knew he needed to get on with the game, and he knew his job was to get Simo on strike, and he was working at that. So it's a win-win situation for a young lad like that. He learns from that pressure. He understands what he's trying to do. So no harm done. And we've got the captain now coming to the wicket, batting at 6 in this game, with Rob Duckett, Ed Giles still to come. I don't believe Bo Gurner's in the playing 11. I'm pretty sure it's James Wiseman who's in for him. But that's still plenty of options with Jamie Watling already not spoken about. So 4 wickets down doesn't mean this innings is over by far. There's still some very dangerous batters to come. It's just, can they hold on and get themselves at least 160 is required here, Dan?
I think that would be the bare minimum today. I think we spoke about that a little bit earlier on, where we sort of try to figure out what par was, and I think there was some chat early doors from the SOS lads and the OVs lads earlier on, sort of in the region of 160 to 175, which is probably looking very, very good here. I mean, as we said before, I just don't see too many of these Farmers bowlers are that hittable. They're probably not too far off where they wanted to be. Usually sort of look at a T20 score and double it at 12, I guess. So if they sort of scratch themselves up to 100 here with a backloaded batting line-up, I think they'll still be looking up to get up to that 180 mark, which is definitely be a defendable score.
Agreed. And Dan, I'm going to let you go and finish your meal, because you're eating it, but you're not eating it as fast as you would like. I can tell you're holding yourself back there, that's for sure. So
I'll leave you a couple of chips.
Thank you for that, much appreciated, and you'll be back with us for the start of the second innings, which we're delighted about. By then you'll most likely have finished that, no doubt. It'll probably be done in a few balls, to be fair, but thank you for your time.
Thanks, everyone.
Scott Van Beeder back into the attack now, from that far end that he opened with. Starts with maybe a little bit of a slower ball, coming back at having 82 for 4 off 10, so halfway there. You'd think at least double it. Certainly with the batting that OVs have got to come, there's plenty of opportunity for them to get up there. I still believe Ed Giles is a big wicket here. He's got to be coming in next for my liking. He's got to face as many balls as possible, because if he faces 20 to 30 balls, safe to say he's going to be striking above 200. As Scott puts his body on the line, which surprises no one after his rugby exploits. Stuck a toe on it, hit the stumps, and it's ended up going for 1. Saved 4, saved 3 really. As I welcome into the commentary box Elliot Corbell.
Lee, how you doing, mate?
Good to see you, mate. Thank you for jumping on.
Pleasure.
You yourself, you played for OVs for many years. You made the big move to walkovers this year, who, we haven't mentioned on the stream today, but we're very close to getting here. Net run rate was the reason. Previous years, it's never been that close. So talk to us about their season. Talk to us about the future, and why you made that move, and what's going on at walkovers.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Hello, everyone. I think it was a move based around wanting to shake things up a little bit personally. Played for played for the OVs for 12 years. Still a reasonably young person, but as a long time playing for the same team, and fancied a bit of a new personal challenge. I like the way Walkovers run the club. I think they've got an incredible junior setup going on. They've got an amazing system all the way through their club. They've got a lot of close personal friends in the team as well, which I thought was exciting, and also the challenge of joining a side who, in all honesty, want to see themselves jumping up a few places in the league positions most seasons. I saw that as a good challenge.
Yeah, it's a rebuilding project there, isn't it? It's been the same for a number of years, where the league has been sort of status quo of Farmers dominating with the other teams fighting out for second and then walkovers at fourth. But big change in focus there, led by many individuals. Brad Vautier being probably up the top of that list with a number of others, have really put their faith in youth, and they've recruited well. The junior system we've now got in Jersey is very successful, and they're sort of reaping the benefits of it. But picking up people like yourself, Jacques, who's come over to Jersey this year, who's obviously a big name on the team sheet, and others as well. It's been a positive season so far for Walkovers.
It has, and I think the joining up at the start of the season, it was there felt like a renewed vigour of, we've brought a few new people in. Jacques was a big one. He's a top player, and there was a real feel in sort of pre-season nets of, why on earth can't we go and shock a few teams this season? Let's go and give it a really good effort. And that first game of the season, we played Farmers in the 45 over league and beat them at their place and put in a really good all-round team performance. And I think it showed a few lads in the team that, hang on a minute, we've got a proper cricket team here, and we know as a group that we've still come through bottom of the division in this season, but it was extremely close. And there's 3, 4, 5 games this season we know that we probably should have won, and were close finishes. And I think that winning mentality that teams have who regularly win matches, I think that will come the more we put ourselves in an opportunity to win games, and the more we keep believing that we can get across the line in those sort of matches.
Yeah, winning's a habit, isn't it? At the end of the day, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes, especially with a more experienced side. You've got some fantastic youngsters coming through. The system behind the sort of on-field cricket is fantastic. Most junior teams in the league, 3 in Division 2, it's or 1 social and 2 junior, should I say? It's an exciting time for Walkovers for the future. Were you around for the game this morning?
I wasn't. I'm afraid I was down at the Gorey Regatta this morning,
nice.
doing elsewhere with my JP commitments, but managed to get here for what I thought would be just in time for the final, but to see the ridiculous scorecard that was there just before the Super Over kicked off. So I'm glad I did manage to get here to catch that. That looked like quite a match.
Yeah, I mean, those of you who are on the live stream this morning, or at the ground, and who are now watching this game on the live stream, you were treated to a spectacle. It was 199 plays 199, which we haven't seen at finals day before. It was a super over, of which that was controversial in itself, because the rules haven't really modernised as quick as they probably should have, and I'll put my hand up to that one. That basically just stated it's a tie, and that's it. So we were left with a decision as to sort of consult with the captains and the umpires at the day to just try and work out what do we think is the best option here. There was discussion from both sides, obviously putting their own cases forward with so much on the line, but I think for the viewers online and for all at the ground, I think that the Super Over was the right decision in the end, and we were treated to some spectacular hitting.
Yeah, I mean, from a neutral perspective, it was the perfect outcome, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you mentioned before the OV's power in the batting lineup. That one man still sat in the hutch with his pads on, Ed Giles. Christ, if he has 5 or 6 overs here like he did in that Super Over, this score could seriously go up.
Yeah, he's so dangerous when he gets going. And talking of dangerous, Julius Sumerauer back on from the Grainville end. He's not been bowling in the batters half of the pitch very often, so the batters are scrambling and moving around to try and adapt to the pace on the ball. Not with a huge amount of success so far, just 3 off 4 balls from his end, and we'll see how he finishes this over.
Yeah, you got 2 men who like getting into the contest there, and
And there's a wicket.
As I say that.
A wicket falls. Well caught at backward point by Chuggy. It was the toughest catch he's ever going to take. Simo looking to use his feet again. He's been doing that to good effect so far this innings, but different proposition running at Julius as it is to other bowlers. So he's taken it on, backed himself. As we see the danger man, Ed Giles, walking out to bat with one ball to face against Julius. Now, let's say if you were a coach, Ed Giles' matchup would be a big preference of spin versus pace.
Absolutely.
No, nothing to say that Gilo can't do what he's been doing, but it's a different proposition to the spin-heavy attack that we saw this morning with SMS.
Yeah, and he is the kind of guy that literally looks to hit every ball for six. Sometimes it is as simple as that. He's got the levers for it, he's got the frame for it, and I think most importantly, he's got the intent for it. We talk about coaching, and if we're talking about juniors here, sometimes hitting the ball over the boundary is as simple as having that mindset of, I'm going to fully commit to this. And Ed Giles is one of those who certainly does that. And I don't think he'll be playing too many forward defensives here. I think he's going to, if he gets hold of anything here off Julius's pace, he'll, I think he could be looking into the rugby pitch. Yeah. Pretty unceremonious, that one.
Before the wicket keeper, who's taken it okay. No, he looks okay. I thought that might have got him in the knee. Just one bounce before it got to him, but that ball was never going to be at the stumps. That was always going to be up and near him. So a great over for Farmers. 3 off it. Julius with the wicket of Scott Simpson moves the game on. 89 for 5 now off 12, and this OV's innings is just starting to stall slightly. They've not had the momentum since the partnership of Simpson and Brennan. Corey came in, showed a little bit of intent, but certainly didn't get going for long enough. So OVs will want these two. These were the, we've got the captain up there from OVs who hit 70 off 30, James Duckett this morning. So, doing it twice in a day isn't easy. But he's coming in with confidence and form, so we'll see how he goes in these last 8 overs. And as we mentioned earlier, if Ed Giles is still there in the 20th over, this score will be very competitive.
Say that again. Looking down that list there, we've got Jamie Watling as well, scored a T10 100 to his name also. I think being James Duckett here, he knows the firepower that Farmers have in their lineup today. He'll know they'll need to go at 10s for the last 8 overs, I think minimum here, if they're going to post anything under 160. Yeah. I think he would definitely be looking above that.
Yeah, it's I think it's easy to go off the games this morning and say, you need 200 to win, but you've got, pressure that you can add, scoreboard pressure. It's a different attack. The wicket will still continue to be good, but OVs have learnt a lot from the game this morning to be able to potentially bowl better. Ed Giles took 3 wickets in the power play, so he'll be looking to come back and do that. Different proposition slightly with the sort of likes of Nick Greenwood and Julius, who will no doubt bow up towards the top and go from ball 1.
Where would you have gone at the toss, Lee? Would you rather have put your faith in your batters and chased, or would you runs on the board?
Which team am I? That's the key question, I think. Am I Farmers who are fresh and haven't not played this morning, or am I OVs who have just been through the ringer?
I'll put you in the defending champions' eyes then. If you're Reece Palmer, Farmers captain.
Yeah, I'm 100% bowling first. The energy that they've got to get out there with 11 blokes, to come in and break the back of it with the full energy that they've got, just gives them that best chance to come out and perform. I think bowling first in these. There you go.
That's gone up.
Very high ball. Good luck to anybody trying to catch it. Oh, it's gone over. Okay, so that ball went a long way up in the air. We weren't sure whether it was 6. It wasn't 6. It was 1 bounce. It could have been stopped, but it was thrown over the rope by the fielder, Reece Palmer. So after all of that, 4 to the batter Ed Giles. I've just noticed it's not Stan Norman bowling. This is George Richardson. So that does need changing, and then we'll get back to you from that. The score is, after this morning, just facing a bit of PTSD, so we'll hopefully get that adjusted for you. But George Richardson into Ed Giles, who is going to continue to play his way, and he won't stop. But as you can see, he hasn't looked as comfortable. This is what we talk about when you know, for those of you who don't watch a huge amount of cricket, we talk about matchups where certain batters will favour certain bowlers and certain bowlers will favour certain batters. And big part of the game, Corbs, that you'll be aware of, I'm sure, with your coaching background, is understanding, right, even though he might be my best bowler, he's a better matchup. He's one who would be more suitable in these conditions at this time to this player. So it's become a big part of the game, and we've seen it already with Ed Giles 5 off 4, whereas in the Super Over he was already on 24 at this time.
Yeah, especially in T20 cricket, you have captain's got to be able to think on his feet. You have a plan in your mind of who you want to bowl the next over, for example. All of a sudden you take that wicket and you've got an opportunity to bowl a few dot balls at somebody like Ed Giles, who definitely does prefer spin. You're going to take that opportunity. You've got to be able to sort of think on your feet there. I mean, if they get him out here using the pace bowler, I mean, that could be it. You know, that could completely turn the tie in their favour.
Exactly.
You know, one gambled over from a Reece Palmer or a Toby Britton or one of the other spin bowlers could, you know, if that over goes for 25.
Yeah.
It's a loud call, and he's missed it. Well, he called it.
He certainly wanted it himself, and I think that was the right call. I don't think Toby Britton was going to get there, and if he did, he was running over his shoulder. So I think the right decision from the experienced Jersey skipper, not skipper of Farmers, but to come in, call them off it to ensure that he's got it right, was the right call in the end. Didn't land in his hands, so 97 for 5. Gilo is 6 off 5, which is a shock to everybody, I think. His strike rate in the first couple of games would have been astronomical. I think that's an effect of the type of bowling that he's facing now. You know, it's that super over. I think everybody in the ground would have probably put the ball in Elliot Miles's hands, but whether that was the right matchup for the batter is the question, isn't it? You know, it's the best bowler that SOS believe that they have, which nobody would disagree with. But it is, how much do we go away from our best bowler to play matchups versus do we put trust in our best bowler, which is, I mean, obviously sitting here with hindsight, you've got two different options, haven't you?
Who'd be a captain, eh?
Exactly.
Excellent shot.
We talk about matchups, and Ed Giles hits Julius for 4 behind square in the leg side, caught up with that one, hit it well enough for a 1 bounce 4, and he starts to go about his work. 101 for 5. 13.1, so we've got 6.5 overs left. What do you think?
It's a big moment, this. I've clearly brought Julius back to try and get this big wicket of Ed Giles, similar to what we've been talking about there. Can we arguably sacrifice an over from Julius here, which definitely would have been used at the very back end of the innings? But if they get this wicket, it's a masterstroke. But if Ed Giles gets hold of a few of these,
Jesus,
that's one of those. That's going to go for 6 as well. That's gone all the way. Goodness me. Wow.
I don't think anybody in the ground can believe how far that's gone. So a short ball back of a leg. Gilo has tried to hit it into the rugby pitch. He hasn't hit it apart from the top edge of his bat. And at the pace that Julius bowls at, it has carried what must be, I think those boundaries down the far end are close to 70, 68 metres. It's cleared it by another 15 to 20, so that's a top edge 6 that's gone for about 85 metres.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought we'd seen it all today, but clearly we haven't. So he carries on. As you can see here, the plan is not to pitch it up to him. The plan is to go short.
Might see a change of plan at this rate. No, maybe not. Wow, that's
he's caught
huge.
Up with that one.
Oh my goodness!
And that has disappeared. I don't. You probably. Well, I highly doubt you're going to be able to understand how far this has gone. So those of you who aren't at Greenville will know that far corner where it goes down towards Greenville School is a long way away. He's got hold of all of that and it's hit the trees on the full.
My word.
So that must have carried at least 90 metres, if not more, and without it hitting the trees that probably would have gone 100 metres.
Oh, surely.
A ridiculous hit. Those are the sort of shots that deserve 12, not 6.
See, this is such an interesting part of the game. This is the gamble. You've got someone clearly with 6 hitting ability, swinging as hard as he can against the quickest bowler.
I think he's got to go at the stumps here. I think he's got to stop.
He's got such a good Yorker.
Yeah. Pace off is a good option.
Got away with it.
And that's what the crowd, I don't know if you picked up a few boos who are keen to see more massive, gigantic 6s hit, but if Bisson was still sat here next to me, he'd be delighted with a single because he was, well, a seam bowler himself. He's always back in the seam. As Forbes, as a wicket-keeper, bat yourself, you're happy with these sixes, no doubt.
Yeah, big fast bowlers get the excitement of whizzing one past your nose. It's nice to see them have to go and pick it up every now and then.
Yeah, so this is the over that OVs were looking for. There is 17 off it so far. Julius has now gone for 29 off his 2.4, so rather expensive. He's picked up the 1 wicket of Simpson, but he'll be looking to try and do something in these last 2. And I think OVs will be happy to take him for 18 and look to keep going from the other end, because there's no doubt he's what you would describe as a strike bowler. He, at the pace he bowls, the risk is that you give up some runs. We saw first ball of the game, a big inside edge from Charlie Brennan go for 4, so you take that risk. But in a strike bowler, you look to pick up wickets.
This is a big ball in the context of this innings, I think. This goes to the boundary again. The momentum has massively swung.
It's well bowled again. Into the wicket, pace off. So, as we talked about earlier, for those who stayed with me most of the day, one of the toughest parts of hitting the ball for 6 is whether you know what pace it's coming down at you is. A seamer like Julius can go from potentially 82 at top speeds, maybe more, to 70 in one ball. So you imagine trying to adjust what you're doing in that split second that you've got as a batter makes things extremely hard. If you know it's coming down at one pace, then it's a lot easier to be able to time your movements and wait for that ball to make the clean contact. But coming down at 80 or 70, it's a big drop off that 10 mile an hour.
Certainly is, yeah.
So, Chuggy back on. From the far end, he bowled from the pavilion end last spell, so change of ends for Chuggy. I think that's more out of necessity than anything. I think the skipper's looking at the momentum, the big over there, and thought, right, we need to drag this back a touch, we need to stop them going again. So going to the he won't thank me for this, but the old wily character of the team.
The experienced man.
Yeah, we'll go with experience, that's for sure. He was with us in the commentary box for the first part of the second innings. And was talking us and giving us some great insights about his career and the way that he's the experience of tight games, his experience of bowling tight overs. He's certainly not shy of taking that ball in pressure situations.
Been there and done it, hasn't he?
Absolutely, this won't phase him one bit. In fact, I think the challenge of Ed Giles at one end will actually probably spur him on.
I agree.
So 116 for 5 off 14. We've got 6 overs to go. 8.2 is the run rate, and Ed Giles is on strike. This is a big couple of overs in the game.
Oh
That
my
is
goodness me!
massive.
Wow.
Again, that's into the tennis courts. I hope
ridiculous.
no one is in the tennis courts because that is gone a long way.
I'll tell you what this is. This is statement batting. This is the quickest bowler and the Ireland captain. Hit for 3 of the biggest sixes you're going to see. It's if you're the OVs boys sat in their dugout at the moment, you are going to be getting the biggest confidence boost ever from this.
Well, this is what he does. This is why potentially you don't want to put him too far at the top when the ball's at its newest, where it could do something. But at the same time, you also want to ensure that he's got enough time to take the game away from the opposition, because he's 30 off 11. He's striking at, well, just under 275. And from what we've seen today, if he bats for the next 5 overs, OVs will have an extremely competitive total. So it's absolutely key that farmers go chasing wickets here. That's the absolute key as they look to replace the ball, which the umpires have done. And he hit it so far into the tennis courts. I doubt we'll be able to get that back unless someone was in the middle of a rally and we disrupted them.
Farmers are going to be sick of the sight of Ed Giles with the bat this season. Of course, scored a 34 ball 100 in the 45 over.
Well
a few
remembered.
weeks back.
Your reporter head came over there.
Yeah. Goodness me, batting at 8 that game as well. It's one of those players where when he comes off, you just know it's going to be one way, and it's going to be some highlights you want to watch back.
Yeah, listen, there might be some people watching over the infield.
There.
He's picked a gap.
Nobody there.
It's not going to go, I don't think. Oh, it is going to go. It is going to go. It looked like it was plugging. I think the fielder tried to calm himself on his run a bit to try and get the ball, and then by the time he got there, it was 4. So another boundary for Ed Giles. There'll probably be people out there watching and thinking, how has this lad not been in a Jersey shirt? How is he not representing Jersey? You see this striking. It's so clean and so big that any team in the world of cricket watching this, maybe going a bit too far with the top teams, but certainly, you know, you watch this and you think this boy can clear and hit 100-meter sixes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Any team would want that.
Yep.
The big thing is that he's got a lot on, isn't it? You know, you speak to Gilo, he's a fantastic character.
Yep.
He loves Jersey, and he's played all through the Jersey youth setup. But cricket isn't his only love, or, you know, you've got to remember that these boys don't get paid. You know, he's got a fantastic career, so, you know, whilst it is a shame, and realistically he has the devastating power to bat in a Jersey batting lineup, no doubt. He's a great fielder with a brilliant arm as well. He does bowl. We saw it in the power play as well. Ultimately,
genuine all-rounder.
Yeah, and that's probably a sign of the struggles of associate cricket more than anything, where, you know, we can't pay the players. You know, these guys do it all out of their own time. They take their own holiday to go and play tournaments. So for someone like him, who's just played another slog sweep 4-6, holding the pose.
Ooh, it's just inside.
So it stayed in the ground. When Corbs is saying just inside there, he doesn't mean the boundary rope, he means the ground.
The ground.
That one's just stayed inside the ground, which is good news for the ball and the umpires. But you know, you got to look at it and think that, you know, this sort of talent in scenarios where countries can pay players, where they can give them contracts to become full-time professionals, someone like Ed Giles doesn't get lost to the game. But, you know, we've seen him today absolutely taking apart bowling attacks of
International
high quality standards.
That's gone again.
He's not hit that well, and it's still 6. You know, it's. I'm going to keep saying it. It's unbelievable hitting. It's you know, mad talent to be able to continually strike the ball as well as he does.
Yep.
We've seen it all day now, but it is a shame. Yeah, obviously, you know, a Jersey call-up would be there if he wanted it, but he's got life. You know, as I say, it's the environment that we're in associate cricket.
Goodness me, Ed Giles in the Jersey T20 batting lineup. I mean, that's a pretty good batting lineup without him. Chucking him in there to come in for the last few overs or something would be borderline unfair.
Well, gosh, if he gets in that 11, that's a question, but he would certainly be looking to get picked if he was around the squad. But he's opted not to, which is his own right, and he's got a lot going on in his life, which is great. It's just fantastic to be able to see him strike this on the live stream. And as we speak, we've got another twist in the tail. Some rain starting to fall at Grainville, because it was never going to be an easy day, was it? We put a live stream on at Grainville, it rains. I'm going to have to learn from this, but it's not coming down heavy at the moment. We were due a shower around this time, so I'm not too worried at the moment. The umpires have been instructed that they can play in a bit of rain. You know, we don't need this wicket. We've got games tomorrow, but it doesn't, you know, it's a good shot for one out to the boundary, but, you know, there's a spectacle on, there's crowds in, there's a live stream on, nobody wants to see it.
Got to keep the game on.
Exactly, nobody wants to see all the players come off and sit and watch it shower.
Yeah.
We're hoping that this blows through, gives us enough time to complete the game without losing any overs, and I believe there's some more rain forecast tonight, so we'll see what it is. Should mention at this point we do have the Division 1 T20 Finals Day tomorrow, which is very exciting. The first time we've ever live streamed Division 1 cricket. It's the same format as today, with games at 11 and 3. The game at 11 AM as one gets hit straight to the fielder from Ed Giles out to the boundary. The semi-final at 11 AM is between St Warren Springfield's second 11. A few names on that team sheet that you'll recognise from today, who'll be playing across both, or will play today and will play tomorrow. Chirpies Cricket Club, who we've not mentioned, who are the youngest cricket club in Jersey, formed by James Cornt, who have an extremely strong junior setup, and sort of will be hoping to have a Premier League team in the future to join the likes of what we've seen today. It's exciting to see them in action and give them an opportunity. They've got some dangerous players who we saw in the Liberation Series. The Tom Kearns will be skippering it. The Neil Davies, who people remember well with his side shuffle run up, will be back on the live stream. So those of you who are big European cricket fans, Mr. Maximo was a big fan of his, and he performed very well on that stage. We'll see him. So they're at and out. And a wicket then to stem that momentum. 1-4-3 for 5 becomes 1-4-3 for 6 as the skipper departs. Played Very much a second-hand knock there to Ed Giles, who's 48 off 16 balls, 9 off 12 compared to his 72 off 30 in the morning. Isn't the fireworks that OVs would have wanted, but playing second fiddle to a fantastic knock from Ed, as you can see. Bit of width, looking to go over extra cover, doesn't quite get it. Extra cover, the skipper sitting on the edge of the ring, takes a good catch, and another wicket falls.
Captain to captain, he'll have
Captain
enjoyed
to
that.
captain, yeah,
He'll have
good
enjoyed
call.
that.
And as one ducket departs, another one enters. James's brother Rob, who we saw, I think, batting at 3 this morning, struck the ball nicely through the offside in a nice partnership with Johnny Heward. Comes to the crease, having batted at 3 this morning. I believe is now in at number 8. So yeah, if you play in the OV side, you better be ready to go whenever you're called upon. There's no set roles in that side, that's for sure. So game in the balance. Pretty simple job for Rob here, right?
It's got to be. Bat on ball, get yourself off strike, and watch the chaos from the other end. You've got a bloke sitting there, 48 from 16 balls, with less than 5 overs remaining. It's not time to be a hero yourself. I think it's handed over to the man striking it from the other end.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's no time for egos. It's time for you do it, mate. I'll stand and watch with the best seat in the house.
Well, again, you talk about matchups from earlier. You know, you've got matchups right now.
Yep.
You know, Rob goes and swings and misses at 3 balls here. That's, you know, the way that Ed's striking them. You know, that is potentially 3 boundaries gone missing from this first innings score. So they've given him the options. They've got their 5 men out on the boundary, everyone out on the leg side. So there's plenty of option to nudge off his pads here for Rob and give the strike back to Ed. Scott taking the pace off there with a little leg cutter, just dragging it a bit wide. Yeah, nice tight line. He's bowled well throughout this season, Scott. I can't remember a game where he's been hit where he's been hit about a lot. He bowls that heavy length. He's some athlete as well. I'll tell you, I was fearing for poor old James Smith's life out there when he was coming steaming in towards him. Goodness
I
me.
did mention that on commentary regarding the rugby reference of being under a high ball is not. You don't want to be facing Scott Van Breeder at the other side of things, but I can speak through his personality. Scott's been around the men's side a bit this season now, having earned a place with his power hitting and bowling, and he is an unbelievable professional. He's a lovely guy. His personality for someone who goes out there week in, week out and mauls people is very gentle and very easygoing, and yeah, an absolute top professional, and a credit to himself. He come into the dressing room with no ego, no ambition, just willing to work hard, listen and understand what cricket's like at the next level. But you can easily see why quite quickly how that translates, the mindset, the focus, the understanding, the sort of, you know, he's been in high performance environments. It's not phasing him, but he's coming in understanding his place and trying to work as hard as he can to improve his cricket, which is great to see for someone who, you know, would be coming towards the, you know, in classical years, the end of his cricket career rather than the start of it or towards the end of it. He's come in with a great attitude. So the rain continues to fall slightly. It's nothing heavy, it's a bit of a shower. I did just look on the radar and it wasn't the news I was looking for. There is quite a bit of rain forecast over the next hour or two. We're going to hope that forecast is wrong. We're going to hope that it somehow misses us. We are on an island. It can move north or south or east or west, so let's hope that happens. But it is raining, and it's consistently raining, and I can see my co-commentator and head groundsman Dan on the far side of the ground now. You might not pick him up on the stream, walking towards the covers, hopefully not in any anticipation of bringing them on just yet, but we'll see. It would be a shame if this final was
Sumerauer back on, change of ends.
It's the right thing that, you know, Giles is hitting 48 off 16 and there's no doubt that he is striking the ball nicely, but they're going to continue with pace has worked for them so far. You know, Jules has been fairly expensive for his standards in this cricket. You know, he would expect to have not gone for as many as he has, but at the pace he bowls and sort of plan he was playing, it's high risk cricket.
That's gone straight over the keeper's head. Yeah. Oh, he's done well. He's done well in the end.
I was going to say miscommunication, but they didn't really talk to each other. They were sort of looking at each other, and Stan Norman, I know has had a bit of a finger injury. He's playing in this game.
That was a bit of a you get it, no you get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of one of those where he's certainly not a typical short third man fielder.
I'll tell you what
He's
that
being
is.
hidden, I believe.
I'll tell you what that is. That's sloppy running if they've only made one there.
And Giles not known for his run between the wickets.
No, you know who you want on strike here though, surely.
Yeah, I agree.
See, I think the thing for farmers to remember here is, despite the chaos coming from one man's bat, 145 for 6 coming into the 17th. You know, if farmers keep them around the 160, 165 mark, they will still 100% back themselves to chase that. This is where T20 cricket gets interesting, where just because a couple of overs can go bang bang and be chaotic, it's the score you walk off at the end of the innings that matters. And keeping that cool head throughout the innings is something that a lot of these farmers players will be experienced in. There's a hell of a lot of international experience out there on the park, and they'll know that a couple of big overs isn't enough to derail the psyche in a T20 innings. You say there, just one run off that top edge over the keeper's head, followed up by 3 dots. These are crucial moments. Excellent comeback from Julius Sumerauer in this over.
Yeah, I mean, 4 dot balls in this stage of the game. Final 4 overs is a period where your best bowlers need to come back on. Jules has bowled these overs fun for Jersey for a number of years, and you're just seeing his class and experience here with 1 off 5.
Yeah.
And a boundary to finish.
Finished it well.
Through extra cover, and 4 runs to the total. So we've got 149 for 6 with 3 overs to go. They'll want 180, I think. That seems, with this farmer's batting lineup, I feel like that's a par.
I would agree with that. Gilo on strike for this next over as well. I think if he bats the remainder of the innings, 180 is going to be minimum.
Yeah.
Possibly even 190. And if we have another chaotic over like we saw a couple ago, we could even be looking at 200.
Agreed. It's a lot of it's on how many balls Giles faces. He's got the captain Chuggy Pershard. Now the rain is continuing to fall. It's not heavy. The spectators are still out there stood in it. It's a shower, but every ball or over that drops by, the pitch is just getting a little bit wet. Now that doesn't mean it's not a bad thing for the batters, because it can tend to skid on with that sort of surface dew or whatever you want to call it on there, which might mean the ball comes onto the bat nicely, but it also might mean that one sort of skids on rather than bounces and can give the bowler an opportunity.
And that really suits the way that Chuggy bowls, the way he rolls his fingers on the ball, and he's got him again.
That's 50 for Gilo off 19 balls. Not a surprise there. It is dangerous striking, and when the ground is set up like it is, he's a dangerous man.
I tell you what, he's got all of his best mates sat up there at the top of the bank. They will be desperate for a crowd catch. We've seen one go up there already that was not well attempted, so if anything is going that way again, I want to see a better effort.
You can see there Chuggy wiping his hand as he runs in. So clearly the ball is starting to become a little bit wet, which will affect execution and his ability to be confident in what he's trying to do. He's desperately trying to dry it.
Now this is crucial here with Rob Duckett on strike. We've just seen Ed Giles' ability to put Chuggy out the ground. Can Rob get off strike here straight away?
Has to.
Give Gilo as many balls as he can.
He's tried to. You could see he wanted to just knock it in. There's a big gap in that leg side, isn't there? That's where his one's going to be. But I think having coached Rob for a number of years, when I was coaching him, T20 cricket wasn't really around. The issue there is that he's tried to get back and across after the ball's been bowled. I think a lot of young batters these days will trigger onto off stump to open up that leg side, because that's the sort of things that they're being taught in the modern game. There's that, if you need your one and there's nobody in the leg side, rather than step back at the classical back and across for a back foot punch or drive, if you like, and then work it in the leg side. The batters these days will use their crease, they'll walk around, they'll create those angles to allow it.
Yeah, somebody like Chuggy the number one thing he wants at this stage is somebody just to stand there.
Okay.
And he can put that ball where he likes. He's been doing it for years and years. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Somebody moving around, making it clear that they're looking for different areas of the ground. It plays with the bowler's head.
Yep.
So here we go. 2 balls remaining in the 18th over. Ed Giles on strike.
And another 6. Not surprising. Another 6 with Ed Giles on strike. A low full toss. Chuggy probably trying to execute a Yorker there with a bit of a wet ball. Misses it by, as I said before, 6 inches maybe. And it ends up being a low full toss. Ed Giles with ridiculous power and striking goes over extra cover.
That is some
6.
strike of a cricket ball. The low full toss over extra cover for 6. That is brute strength.
Yeah, and listen, this is what's great about club cricket and putting this on live streams. You know, we want this to be what people get to witness as local club cricket, because we've got 2 of Jersey's best international bowlers in Julius and Chuggy, and combined I think they've gone for over 80, which shows just the depth and the quality that we do have on the island of players who can go out there and compete at that level. It's you know, there's not taking anything off Chuggy and Julius. It's, you know, promoting and saying just how good the standard of cricket we have within club cricket is over here. We talked about walkovers already. Looking at the scorecard there, as I mentioned, it's 87 from my count between Julius and Chuggy, which before the game you wouldn't have necessarily said that was on the card. So obviously Ed Giles a big factor in that with his striking. But we talked about walkovers earlier. We talked about, you know, that competitiveness of it, but in your role day to day, you're part of Jersey Evening Post, you're a sports reporter on there. Just talk to us about sort of what you guys have been doing recently to promote and keep promoting local sport in general, but also cricket.
Yeah, well, this week's been pretty chaotic. We've had the Island Games this week up in Orkney. 2 of my colleagues, Ollie Kidman and George Marriott, have been up there running around like headless chickens, trying to send us pictures and interviews from on the ground. That's been fantastic. Getting to really get in behind what's going on in local sport, more than just the athletes that cross the line or take the gold medals. You get to know the coaches, the support staff, the people who make the cups of tea at the grounds on training days and things like that. That's something really exciting about the work that we do, and we did a massive preview block ahead of the Island Games where we went to all of these sports and sort of gave them their opportunity to tell us what their sport meant to them and what competing at something like the Island Games means to them, and it was extremely well received, and it's a privilege to get to offer people that kind of acknowledgements. And from the cricket perspective, it's been a good fun summer. Obviously Jersey just being over in the Netherlands last week and having their extraordinary performance, especially that final game against Scotland. I was watching the live stream at my desk in the office and had to stay late and wait on the Italy-Netherlands game to find out the result for our headline. But what an incredible effort that was from them out there, and so unlucky to just miss out on net run rate. I mean, but what they've done there is seriously announced themselves on the international stage. And
yeah, I agree.
Everybody
and that
here
is a chance. It's up in the air. Toby Britton's underneath it. It's Ed Giles, and he takes the catch, which is a big catch in the complex of the game. Behind him, let's just say he wasn't getting encouragement from the people on the boundary behind him, so there was pressure on that catch. That man, Will Pershard, again comes in 2 for 19 now. He has a knack of picking up wickets. Those bowlers, they are just some of those bowlers who just seem to bowl and take wickets naturally, and he's one of them. And that, in terms of the game, is a massive wicket with just under 12 balls to go.
I was looking at the bowling stats there as we were there before, seeing both Chuggy and Julius finish their spells. This was a massive final 2 overs in the innings with the 2 front-line bowlers finished, and this could have gone the other way. Pershard going for 18 in his first over, but to come back and get rid of the danger man with his first ball, that's a massive wicket in the context of this first innings. But that man walking to the crease, I've watched him firsthand hit a 31 ball 100 in the European Cricket Network. So,
well, he's batted at 8 and then batted at 9 today. So either he'll be annoyed or he's happy with it, either of the two. But what a knock that was. Ed Giles, 63 of 22 or 62 of 23, one of the two. Fantastic strike in 7 sixes and a couple of fours to go with it. So, yeah, huge innings in this context of the game. There's still, 10 balls to go now. 164, 180 we've talked about as a minimum against this Farmers batting lineup, and we're hoping just going to finish my sentence. And we're hoping the rain stays away, was what I was going to say. We're hoping that we get to see the likes of Nick Greenwood, Julius Sumerauer, Jack Kemp, Stan Norman, James Smith, well reminded. I'm looking around the field, so I'm just working out. Scott Van Breeda is in the same ilk of Ed Giles. He's won games of cricket for Farmers, batting lower down the order with his power hitting. So we're hopeful. We're very hopeful. There's another dot ball here, and this is turning out to be a huge over for Farmers. Looking at, they were 163 at the start of this over with 2 overs to go. There's now just 8 balls left, and they've got 1 more run on the score. They've lost Ed Giles and 2 dot balls. So this is a great over from Will Pershard, who will not be fazed by this part of the game and has all the tricks to succeed.
Yeah, this is the crucial part of the game, this. If OVs play this correctly, that 180 will be in their marks, but dots and ones, they're in danger of swinging too hard and missing out on simply collecting runs here. The last thing they want to do is limp to and just cross the line at 170.
Yeah,
It's finding that line, isn't it?
I agree. I feel like if they can get to 180, they've got a good chance with early wickets in the power play. Anything less than that, they're going to have to bolt out of their skin.
I think you're right.
There's a lot of swing and misses. What an over that is
Fantastic.
from Will Pershard. In the context of the game, when everyone else around you is going a lot of runs and over, to have bowled an over in the 19th over for 2 runs and a wicket is phenomenal, which just shows, as we've spoken about a few times today, about the depth of seam bowling we've now got within Jersey cricket, the youngsters coming through. We saw earlier Theo Pullman perform very well for OV, certainly in the power play. He put his hand up, probably didn't bowl the over in the super over he would have liked to have bowled. He certainly went to his boxer tricks. Harrison Carlyon came to the fore there and took him down a bit, but we've seen a young seamer there in Will Pershard, who with the last over now will have only bowled 2 overs and might feel a bit miffed that he only got 2 in that innings.
It looks like we're going to see Toby Britton with the final over.
Yeah, I think they've sort of... What surprised me here is that we've not seen Nick Greenwood. He's bowled 4 over spells for Jersey over the last couple of years. It speaks to the depth of Farmers in their bowling attack. But the fact that we didn't see him bowl at least 1 over surprises me a touch. He's got all the experience, he's got understanding of how to read batters, but they've kept faith in their young guns. And at the moment, at 165 for 7, and they've scored 2 runs off the last sort of 8 balls. They're doing the job for Farmers.
Certainly are. And again, Toby, another veteran of the T10 format. He knows how to bowl to lads who are trying to whack him out the ground. That's an excellent start to the final over. Dot and a 1.
Agreed.
Again, if they... OVs are in danger of falling short of the 170 mark here. If Toby can get out of this over a run a ball, I think Farmers will bite your hand off for it.
Absolutely. This is still a good wicket. The rain that has drizzled up until now will have only kept that wicket nice and hard underneath.
It's really well bowled.
It's not going to change the conditions too much. So another Yorker fired in by Toby. We're seeing some fantastic bowling here, which you spoke about, his T10 experience coming to the fore.
Bit of mind games?
If it was Elliot Miles, I'd say yes, but knowing Toby Britton, I'd say more likely lost his run-up.
3 balls remaining.
Slight commentator's curse there, as the ball goes down the leg side for a wide, having bigged him up, but in the grand scheme of things, if the next 3 balls that he's got left don't go for a boundary, that wide will be pretty insignificant, I believe, with, let's say, 175 on the board, but something to bowl at, for sure. Oh, good take. Absolutely executing every ball he's bowled here. Apart from that leg side wide, he has nailed his Yorker. He pulled one back of a length to Jamie, and he is looking confident?
It's such a good last over, it really is.
Well, there, I'd say that one was an opportunity, but the pressure is sort of the misexecution has sort of earned the one run because of the good balls he's bowled before. It's put the batter under pressure, who's maybe lapsed of concentration. So
here we go, Lee. Final ball of the innings
from this last over. Final ball of the innings. What are OVs going to get to? And they're going to be out, which is a wicket. What a last over. So off the last 2 overs there, we've had 2 wickets and something like 7 or 8 runs. So that is not what the momentum we talk about a lot in cricket. Momentum going between the innings. You know, if you can take 2 wickets or you can save the runs, the momentum is now fully with Farmers going into their batting innings. If OVs had got 20 off the last 2, that momentum with OVs going into the next innings, which can have a big impact. It's an emotional game, as we saw earlier. So 170 the final score there on the OVs innings, with Ed Giles starring once again with 60 plus off not very many at all, 20 odd. So come back to us. We're hoping within the next 15 minutes we don't see too much rain, and we hope that we manage to get the majority of the next innings in before a large amount comes. We hope you'll come back and join us. We hope you'll enjoy the break. And Farmers will need 171 to lift the trophy once again. Corbs, thank you for your time.
Cheers,
much
Lee.
appreciated. Enjoy
Pleasure.
the rest of this final.
Thank you, Matt.
Hello and welcome back to the final innings of the Premier T20 Finals Day here at Grainville. It is basically a simple equation at the moment as it stands. We have 170 on the board for OVs after a fantastic Ed Giles innings once again. I feel like I've been saying his name all day. They've got to 170. It's competitive. Early wickets in the power play are going to be absolutely key here with this batting lineup that Farmers have. Jack Kemp, Nick Greenwood, Julius Sumerauer will no doubt be at the top of the order, and as I speak, Kemp and Greenwood are walking out to bat. Two extremely dangerous cricketers on their day. So the batting lineup and the depth of Farmers is long. So early wickets are going to be key, putting them under pressure. Scoreboard pressure is absolutely vital here in a final when they're chasing, but they've got a lot of experience in their order. Simply put, there is some rain around. We've looked at the radar. It doesn't look favourable, but what do weather forecasters know? We're going to hope that they're wrong, and we're going to hope that we get a full 20 overs in, but we will see whether the rain intervenes. Just to give you a bit of background on that, Duckworth Lewis is in play. That will be on the scoreboard, and we will do our best to keep you updated on what they will need to be at the end of each over. Simply put, the 5 overs is what constitutes a game. So once 5 overs have been bowled in this innings, then a result will be definite. If we are rained off, Farmers, having finished first in the league, will win the title, will win the trophy. So OVs want to get their 5 overs in here. They want to pick up wickets, and DLS might be in their favour as the rain starts to get a little bit harder. We think we've probably got a few minutes to play with. I don't think anyone's told OVs about it because they're not in a rush to get going. The first ball, well, is about to be bowled, but they're certainly not rushing around or bowling any spin, which may have been an option to go to in this scenario. If you want to win on DL, you need to take wickets, and if they're going to win the title, they need to get 5 overs in here. Otherwise, Farmers lift it once again. So game evenly poised. You'd certainly say with the games that we've seen earlier in the day, you would rather be in the Farmers camp with the total that we've got, or OV, sorry, have got on the board. And Scott Simpson is going to take the first over, and Jack Kemp is going to receive the first ball. I'm delighted to say I have I don't know what mood to describe him. Probably happy because he had a beer in his hand 10 minutes ago, but also a bit despondent. Captain of SOS, Harrison Carlyon, who we saw bat so well in that super over that took SOS so close to Spain, and it was an extremely enjoyable game of cricket for the neutral this morning to watch as Simpson comes in for the first ball, and it's a dot ball. Harrison, welcome. How are you feeling after this morning?
Yeah, I mean, a tough loss, very close game. I think we spoke to the boys afterwards and said, if we're honest with ourselves, we probably didn't have a right to win that game at the halfway stage. So yeah, I mean, we were happy to sort of make it to that super over, and I mean, super over is that's 4 runs. Yeah, so super over, anything can happen in the super over. We got very experienced bowling in Elliot Miles bowling, and then I mean, obviously Ed, we've seen how clean he hits the ball throughout today, so it was a very, very difficult matchup.
Yeah, listen, we've talked about that game a little bit on comms, and there's a right in what you're saying in that, at the halfway stage, 110 for 5, chasing 190, you're not in the game that many times, but Adam Hayward's played out of his skin there and played the innings of his life to get you close. And then at one point, if we were to have a win viz or whatever it is on the thing where it's percentage of winning, I think with 6 off 3 balls, you're probably right up there at 75% with a chance of doing it with a batter on 90 off not many at all. So, amazing fight back from the boys. Not enough to get you there, which is obviously the big goal to get to Spain and join Farmers down there, which wasn't to be, but a big entertainment for the rest of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think we were sort of gutted to get so close and miss out. Pulled up there, not quite sure what happened, but yeah, we were glad to get so close, but I think improvements in the way we've played T20 cricket from last year to this year, so building on it, we've got a pretty young side, we've had people stand up throughout the season that maybe didn't last season, so that's a bonus for us as well.
Yeah. I think you can look at that and as a skipper be proud. I mean, certainly from our point of view, we were talking about the fact that you and Patrick opening the batting needed to have a big power play if it was going to happen. So not many people would have been putting money on Adam Hayward as the hero or nearly hero of the day. But what a knock that was from Adam.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic to watch. He strikes such a clean ball. It was great to watch, as I say. I went out there and took him a drink in that final over and said, just for these 6 balls, do your best to sort of get onto off stump and start aiming at sight screens to long on. And I mean, he did a good job of it and pretty much got us the whole way there. It was a shame. A bit of bat on ball would have been nice on the last delivery, but to sneak through for a single, I mean, from where we were, I said we would have taken a super over.
Yeah, agreed. It's cricket can be a cruel game at times when you've scored. That's a fantastic shot from Nick Greenwood, which is a wonderful pick-up off his legs, and it's gone all the way for 6, which is the quality that he possesses. It's not a bad ball from Simmer. Maybe a touch full, maybe a touch straight, but you want to attack the stumps in the power play, and Greeny has just whipped that off his legs for 6. Going back to Adam's innings there, it was, it's cricket, isn't it? You can score 100 and be on the losing side, you can score 90 and be on the losing side, but never nice to see, but certainly a massive day out for him. Yeah. And probably made up for it, seeing as the last time he was on camera during the Liberation series, rather than for good things, he was remembered for trying to eat the cricket ball, which went on around WhatsApp groups for weeks and potentially still does to this day.
Yeah, it's still a group chat picture.
So yeah, that will continue to live forever, but certainly from his point of view, opportunity to sit be on live camera again today, and he more than did himself proud. And we'll see him again tomorrow, because we're so not used to seeing that sort of innings from him. Certainly at this level, he's a second 11 cricketer as well. He turns in week out for the second 11. Sometimes behind the sticks. Can you give us any info behind the SOS 2s tomorrow?
No, a pretty strong side. I mean, bold. Bit of shape there, I'd imagine, but no, a pretty strong side, and a young side as well. A few playing that played today, so like I've watched them play a few times, and they'll look to take the game on. I think a few of them are over there on the boundary, and I mean, hopefully they'll be all right come tomorrow morning. So
yes, you're gonna, oh my word,
effort.
That was a hell of an effort to get down from 6'4" to nearly take one by his ankles. So. I don't want to talk about him too much. I feel like I've said his name about 100 times today. Rightly so. Obviously, his performance has been fantastic. That would have been an absolute worldie catch from Ed Giles. Jack Kemp gets off strike, gets a single at mid-off. A sort of a casual start, let's say. The run rate's above 10. No ridiculous fireworks from either batter. It's been fairly muted out there in terms of a bit of drizzle. No wickets. 6 from Greeny was fantastic off his legs, but still could go either way.
I mean, yeah, as you see that shot there, I think two huge wickets. I mean, there's a lot of depth in the Farmers lineup, but 2 huge wickets here. It will be Nick Greenwood, obviously, and Julius Sumerauer when he gets into bat. Both got a lot of power and can sort of, similar to Ed Giles, can take a game away from you pretty quickly. So if I was OVs, I'd be looking at those 2 and thinking I want to pick them up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and as you can see on your screens, the required run rate is just to the left of the total, which gives you a real good indication of how the chase is going. This morning, SOS run rate was never below 10. It was always above 10s at 1.13s, 14s. Big overs got them back into it, but you can see from Farmer's point of view, 8.1 is very manageable on this wicket and this ground, as Greeny charges him and hits him for another 6.
Yeah, he's not going to muck around here, Nick. I think, having stood at the other end with him for quite a long time now, he's just going to put his foot down here and try and assert himself on the game.
He's certainly doing that. He's now 3 6s. He's now 18 off 4. Doing it a bit more classically than a slug across the line. We're seeing beautiful shots from Greeny here in testing conditions for batters where it's a bit wet out there. It's not always easy.
Yeah, they're going to need to get him out pretty quickly here, because he looks in good touch and he looks in a bit of a mood. So that's never a good sign for the opposition team. I mean, if you sit at the other end, it's always nice to watch. So yeah, they're going to have to get them out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think weather will play its part at some point. We play on in drizzle. It's another lovely shot out to the boundary. Corey Bisson out in his favoured cover boundary. He's been doing it for many years. It's his favourite fielding position, getting round. And as we can see there, Nick is now 23 off his 6, striking at nearly 400. So, yeah, about as good a start as you could have as an opening batter in this context with 170 on the board. We know that that's below today's par on this wicket, so they're going to need to do something. You get the feeling, and you can't begrudge them for it, but their emotions from this morning, and it would have been the same, I'd imagine, for SOS this afternoon when the game was so up and down like it was. The energy levels mentally are always tough to come back from when you've got a double header.
Yeah, we talked about it after. We were like, obviously difficult to miss out, but it's a big task to come and play another game in the afternoon. I mean, it's a bit easier obviously once you come out on the winning side, but yeah, no, not easy at all.
So game goes on. We've got to crown someone the champions of the DFDS Weekend Premier T20 today. Right now, it looks like Farmers would be favourites. Certainly this morning's game, with what it had on the line, has taken a lot of energy out of the OV's side, but I would be hastened to say that a wicket will do them wonders. They're going to need wickets quickly. I think they'd ideally like to get Greenwood's wicket, that's for sure, out of these two so far. Kempy's a dangerous batter and can get going, but he's certainly happy to just get his one and get Greeny on strike at the moment.
It's 4 again. Yeah, no, like you say, Nick is the big wicket here. He's the senior player in this partnership, and as you say, Jack's very dangerous as well on his day, but Nick could take this game away from OVs within sort of 6 overs if he really gets going.
Agreed. We talked about this morning where quite a simple way of looking at chases is trying to get 100 off the power. Sorry, not 100 off the power play, but needing 100 out of the power play often makes you feel pretty comfortable at where you are. But a day like today, as we saw, I think you were 128 required off the last 10. So going at 12.8 for 10 overs isn't easy, but you can see.
Sure.
That is a bit of class. We've seen some power, we've seen some big hitting, we've seen some ropes being cleared, and Nick Green was just showing his quality there. It's not a bad ball, top of the stumps, but he's got the ability to just stand there, hit it through backward point without even trying, really. That was timing and a bit of class to a lot of power and smashing of the ball cricket ball we've seen today.
Yeah, that was classy shot. A little bit of width, and he just opens the bat face and says, "Yeah, that's another four runs."
Those are the ones you want to carry. So a few of your boys over there, I can see, quite happy to tuck into the opposition. It's the Jersey way. There was some for James Smith during the first innings, I believe. Any fielder out there.
Yep.
It's all a good learning experience.
Yeah, I think listen to the boys. I think the conversation was, which team do we want to win here? And the answer was, I don't really care. We'll get into any of them. So, yeah. So it's not really the place to be fielding today. But you would be entertained if you're out there. Who's out there now? Corey Bisson. Yeah, he'd certainly take it in good spirits.
Yeah, he's faced it before. He's been away to many interinsulars against Guernsey where, those sorts of environments you're going to take stick all day long, so you've got to have thick skin. And knowing Porky, he's certainly got thick skin.
Sure.
And again, too much width from Scott Simpson, who has been hit the 3 fours off that over. 12 off it. 3 classy fours from Nick Greenwood takes him to 35 off 12. Looking extremely strong here, Farmers. I don't need to look at the DL to tell you that they're ahead. Should rain intervene. We need to get 5 overs in before there's a chance of a definite result. And we're 2 away from that, with Farmers well ahead of where they would need to be. Just 7.5 required now, having started way up around 8.5. It's come down quickly, and a lot of that's down to Nick Greenwood, who opens with you a lot. I'd be hastened to say before selections announced and things like that, but we've got a home tournament here in August. We've spoken to Chuggy and Hutch about what that means, but certainly from you, homegrown player, that you've done it before, you've opened with Greenie a lot of times. Just talk about what that is like for a player.
Yeah, so nice shot, well stopped as well. But no, I think as a sort of Jersey-born Jersey player, there's nothing better than playing in a home tournament, right? You get the crowd behind you, you get to play a very good standard of cricket and sort of fight for your island in front of everyone. So that's always very nice. But to open with Greenie is always very comforting. He's obviously a very strong player. Sort of as a partnership, we've sort of figured out how it works over the last 5-6 years, and it's gone pretty well in most formats, and especially in Challenge League. So we're going to look to sort of carry that on.
Yeah, and listen, Chuggy and Hutch both speak very confidently. Maybe a little bit hesitant to talk about, future ambitions and goals. Certainly, they want to win games of cricket, but it's another 4 for Nick Greenwood off his legs this time. So we've seen it all through the offside. Now we're seeing it through the leg side. He's a 360 player. You can see his class. He plays for Wellington in New Zealand. Born in Jersey. Very important to add. And has been an absolute find for Jersey cricket since he's come back into the fold in 2019. So he continues to go. Your opening partner, who you've battled with for a lot of time in multiple formats now. Talk to me about ambitions then moving forward for Jersey, both personally and as a team with the 50 over cycle.
Yeah, I think looking at the 50 over cycle, that's well bowled. I think looking at the 50 over cycle, we obviously want to win every game of cricket we play and finish top of that Challenge League. So won't be hesitant to say that. Hopefully that sort of comes around. I think we've got the squad and the talent to do that. That's certainly the aim, and to look to get back into that ODI competition and hold our place and try and keep ODI status. I think that's the way we want to shot. Lovely shot. Yeah, that's what we want to do this summer and leading into next year. So not hesitant to say that at all.
Fantastic shot there from Jack Kemp, who's been quiet, going about his business, second fiddle to Greenie so far, but presented with the opportunity, he's absolutely murdered that one through extra cover, beaten Charlie Brennan to his right, beaten the skipper at mid-off to his left, and he's crunched it for 4. That's a big confidence boost for Jack Kemp, who is going away with the 19s. We've spoken about them on commentary earlier with the young seamers. We talked about how the youngsters in that side are getting a good opportunity around the men's squad, and giving them opportunities is key. You've been involved in that under-19 squad and there as an assistant coach for the 2-year cycle now. Talk to me about hopes for that tournament that we've got coming up. A little bit about that tournament. We haven't spoken about who the opposition is, etc. So just give us a little bit more insight into that.
Yeah, we've got a nice squad. Obviously quite a few of them out there now on the pitch and coming along nicely. Played a good few warm-up games this week and some good improvements made. I think opposition-wise we're looking at Scotland, Netherlands, Guernsey, Sweden. Obviously ourselves, but the boys are looking forward to it, and I think it's a group where on their day they can beat any side. They're very dangerous. Got a lot of players who can win games, and Kempy himself is one of those. On his day can be pretty devastating. So sort of that's what we'll look to do: take the game to the opposition and sort of not back down at all. Oh, he's dropped it. No, and that is not what you want to do. That is dropped at short third man by James Wiseman, by the looks of it.
James Wiseman, yeah, into this team for the final. Big vote of confidence for the young lad. He's 6 foot plus, but he's only young. He's 15 years old. Extremely talented rugby player, very good young cricketer, one for the future for us for sure. He opens the bowling in the under-15s and has bowled nicely for OBs through the age groups, gets it through. So yeah, he'll be disappointed, and it's a shame for him, but these things happen.
No, that's not the plan. That can't be the plan to Nick Greenwood, unfortunately. It's exceptionally good on the short ball. That probably needs to go back in the locker, I'll be honest with you.
He is exceptionally good at the short ball, and playing professional cricket, I would imagine this pace isn't too terrifying for him. So I think plan B needs to be looked at here. Luckily, young Theo, who you coach a lot and play with, he was in the squad for the Netherlands, isn't shy of the situation.
Yeah. No, very confident character, and he won't back down from this. That's not the ball, but I mean, he's a bit hard done by there. He's had him dropped first ball of the over, and then he's gone 6-4. So, in fact,
50 for Greeny?
Yeah,
Off
dropped
17.
for 4, and then go
Off
ahead.
17 balls, yeah. I mean, a fantastic knock. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything. I mean, it's low risk. He did get dropped. You can see the frustrations. It's difficult, isn't it? In high pressure situations, you want people to perform. A drop catch is never what you want, especially off your own bowling. But he's a young lad. He's out there to learn. You know, you hope it doesn't affect him too much. Nobody means to drop a catch. It's the worst part of cricket. Everybody's done it. You know, not performing, and you know, no one moans at the bowler when they get hit for 6 if they bowl a bad ball, a short ball to Greeny. No one's moaning at Theo for getting hit for 4 or 6. So it's, you know, you got to feel from a bit, but
That's all bowled. That has to be the plan.
That's the way
there.
you have to come back.
Yeah.
Do the talking with your bowling rather than moaning at others. But Theo's a good lad, as you said. What do you think the plan is here then to Greeny? What would you go with?
I think on this wicket, the field they got set, I think they need to go just over the top middle stump, change the pace. Yeah, I mean, he was unlucky, as you say, first ball of that over, he was in and around top of that middle stump and slashed a short third, but I wouldn't budge from that. I mean, that's fine. He's got the man out there. I mean, Nick's moved across his stumps there, so he's sort of manipulated that into something that it probably wasn't if he was in the same position. So, yeah, I think you've got to change your pace up. If you bowl on the same pace every ball, he's a good enough player that he's going to set himself. And
A little bit of discussion there between Theo and Nick. I think all good-hearted. Didn't
Having
look
a laugh.
Looked like there was a lot of smiling going on between the two of them. They are obviously teammates, having been in Holland for 2 weeks with each other prior to this, and that's the fun part of coming back and playing cricket for Jersey. That is a fantastic shot from Jack Kemp. That is enough width. Theo looks extremely frustrated, mainly with himself. Too much width, too easy for Jack, and you can see the frustration visibly there. OBs are desperate for a wicket here. It's a hell of a start for Farmers.
yeah, they're absolutely motoring here. And if I know anything about these two batters, they will not take their foot off the pedal. So, especially with, I would assume, Julius carded at 3. He is not going to come in and take his time. He's just going to try and get this thing done as quickly as he can.
Yeah, there is a good card. That's certainly not going to be the batting order that you're looking at there, unless I know something. Toby Britton at 3 would be a surprise.
It would be, yeah.
He's worked hard in his batting, give him his due, Tobes, but that last over was what he does. He's sensational. It's showing rain delay, but it's not a rain delay, guys. That's fine, all good. And yeah, listen, that last over, the last 2 overs there for OVs were not what they wanted. With 170, I think they got 4 or 5 off the last 2 overs. They needed to get up to 180, 185, and we see James Wiseman come into the attack, and an opportunity goes down again.
Well, he's not laid a glove on that, so that is unfortunate. That's
Is it
Corey
no skin,
there.
no drop? I
No
believe,
skin,
is
no
the-
drop, but I think Corey will hold himself to a high standard, and
Yeah,
you've got to catch that, unfortunately, especially with it being Nick Greenwood.
yeah, it's Greeny again. High risk cricket he's playing, and OVs are allowing him to do that. But like we said before, young James Wiseman does open the bowling nicely, and he's into the attack. He'll be wanting to make up for that opportunity missed. Started well, drop catch that should have been a wicket, and now a dot ball to Kempy. So young lad, great experience this, regardless of how it turns out. We saw it with Freddie Harben earlier. Didn't stay for long, but putting in those situations is important and a big vote of confidence. Certainly Farmers, I think, will be not looking for him to settle here. They'll see a young lad. Kempy himself will be wanting to dominate from ball 1 against him here.
No, it's yeah, for sure. That's the way Jack plays, and yeah, it's good to see him. He's timing it well so far, so hopefully he can continue. Just setting himself a bit early there and missing out on a wide full toss, so he'll be a bit annoyed with himself for that one. And the crowd down at deep sort of cover, deep point, have gone pretty quiet now, by the looks of it as well.
I mean, right now, you'd say the game is running away from OVs. That is not what you want to do. I would say that that's potentially...
No ball, I'd assume.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
no
definitely
ball.
a no ball.
Yeah.
I'd say it's potentially due to the wet ball.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to bowl. He's certainly not looking to bowl there. So, yeah. Greeny's innings continues. 1 bounce, 4 plus the no ball.
Yeah.
Was it 6? No, 4.
I mean-
4. And yeah.
This is a good experience for James. He wouldn't have come across any better batters than this so far in his career. So this is hard. This is hard for him.
Yeah.
This is hard.
This is
Sure.
This is,
I mean, I wouldn't want to bowl to Nick on the best of days. So yeah.
We said about it earlier. The OVs have given Freddie Harbin and James Wiseman a game of cricket here. They're both 15-year-old lads who are coming through their system. They performed in the first team, so that they've not just been handed it for no reason. They've done well. Freddie, is an under 15 batter who's batting in the top 4 for the under 19, so clearly one for the future. And James, they believe, and certainly at Jersey Cricket, we know of him as geez, that could have been head. As a young cricketer with lots of promise. So it's a win-win situation. They might walk off and they might feel that they've underperformed and they might be frustrated at their performances, but as a young cricketer, experiences are absolutely key.
Yeah,
you can
for
do
sure.
all the training in the nets, you can hit as many balls off the bowling machine or bowl at your own age group, but coming up against a professional cricketer, an international Jersey cricketer, and facing an attack like Farmers is going to be nothing but good for these young lads.
Yeah, it will stand them in good stead. These are experiences they can draw on as they sort of go throughout their career. As you said before, he wouldn't have bowled to any better batters than Nick. So, yeah, it's good for him.
Not pretty reading if you're an OVs fans. The figures are not ideal. Certainly in this situation where you've only got 170 on the board. Theo Pullman back for another over. Went for 19 off his first, so some captains may have hauled him off, brought a new change of thing, but they trust him. He's young in age, but not necessarily young in experience within this OV side. He's been playing for a number of years now. He works so hard at his cricket off the field, and certainly one for the future.
No, he's got a great mentality, Theo. One of the best sort of I've seen so far throughout our pathway. So that's a lovely cricket shot. Yeah, he's got a great mentality. Like, he won't back down from it. He will back himself the whole time. And as you say, this is not easy.
No, it's not easy. I think there is a little sense here that he needs to give himself a good chance, because he's bowling into the wicket. He's trying to get it up chest high. He's bowling with pace on, and he's got third man and fine leg up. So there's a young bowler who is clearly, he's frustrated because he's missed out on a wicket earlier on. But you have to set the field to the ball you're going to bowl. The skipper maybe needs to step in and have a word.
Sure.
Again,
I mean, that's not short. And let's just put that away.
Agreed.
That is top of the stumps. That's probably where you'd be looking to bowl with this field. I mean, sometimes you just have to tip your hat and say nice shot.
spoken like a true batter.
Yeah,
No,
correct.
but agreed. That's not a bad ball. It's just above the top of the stumps, skidding on. But this is an exhibition from Nick Greenwood here. He has given a couple of chances, so it's not been flawless. OVs have had their opportunities, but he's really making them pay. 72 of 26. And that's the biggest of them that I've just seen that through the trees bounce into the fence of the rugby pitch. We've seen some big ones today, mainly from the bat of Ed Giles, but that is right up there. It's on the full, off his pad, cleared through the trees, and he must have somewhere to be.
Yeah, I mean, when he's in this kind of mood, there's probably not much that can be done. So, I mean, you have to take those half chances that they've had. If you give them 2 chances, it's probably going to not end up too well for you.
Listen, we're out the power play now. It feels as if something needs to change. They need to change a pace. They need something a little bit different, just to mix it up a bit here, potentially. It's all one pace. It's all coming down.
Yeah.
They're 99, this run partnership, of just 39 balls. It's been spectacular batting, particularly from Nick Greenwood. Kempy's had his part. He's got himself off strike to give Greeny the strike, but also picked up his boundaries as well. So he's not completely forgotten in this partnership, but certainly from the main point of view here, it's the Nick Greenwood show, batting fantastically. Those who are tuned in should be watching this and enjoying a great.
Yeah, I mean, this is great to watch. As a batter, I mean, I'm pretty lucky to be able to watch from the other end most of the time. But yeah, and again, I mean, this isn't going to slow down. If they get a half chance, I mean, they're going to have to take it. But he is not going to slow down.
And this is cricket at this level where it's a flat wicket. It's a batting paradise. We've seen it all day. It puts bowlers under pressure. As much as Theo will be, well, you can see him that he's seething. His hands went up in sort of hope after that ball in sort of like, where am I bowling to him here? So this isn't easy, and neither should it be.
That's a shame. No, it's well bowled. James Wiseman, can he get there?
Oh, good effort.
That's unlucky. I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes. When it's not your day, it's not your day.
This is where the figures don't always reflect the bowler's performance. It's a mixture of fantastic batting. I'd say I'd be tough on the lad and say first ball bumper with pace on, with third man and fine leg up wasn't a good decision to start your over. But after that, it's been the Nick Greenwood show and a little bit of luck. And again,
that wasn't wide. That was over middle stump. I mean, it's good hands, but I think if we're being ultra critical, he needs to try and be full here and get hit down the ground. I mean, he's giving a top class player the opportunity to score here, and I mean, he's not going to miss it, is he?
Listen, I completely agree. This is in this situation for a young lad like that, you can see him with his hands on his head walking down to third man here. He wants to let out some anger, which rightly so, very frustrated. You want to see people want to perform, but ultimately it's a learning experience, and he has got to look back on it and go, right, what could I have done better? And I think when you look at where the boundaries have been hit, all square of the wicket, it's going to give you some insight into, right, where are my legs? Is this going right? And don't get me wrong, no one's a genius. All of a sudden he could bowl full and green, he could hit him over his head for 6. It's not
correct,
a given, but it's almost the idea of running up and doing the same thing again over and over again when it's clearly not working. Something has to change. Yeah,
I mean, like as you say, he's not the first bowler to cop some tap from Nick Greenwood, and he will not be the last.
No,
I can guarantee him that.
He won't. This is Greeny at his fluent best. 92 off just 30 balls. So a 32 ball 100 is on here in the final. Farmers are chasing 170, and they are 114 for 0 off 7, needing 4 and over. Well bowled.
Well bowled, yeah. It's well bowled.
A win at this stage is getting him off strike.
And he's launched that as hard as he can, and
that's dumb cricket.
That's anger. Yeah, that's anger.
This is where young, inexperienced cricket doesn't work well. That's a real shame, because that's emotions getting the better of performance there. We can all understand frustrations, we can all understand the need to vent, but when it then has an impact on the rest of the team, I'm not saying it's going to make a difference to the result here, but you've got a young lad who's trying, and he's bowling well.
He's bowled a good over so far here. I mean, that is, what's that, 4 off the first 3 balls? That is a massive win at this stage of the game, and with how well Nick's seeing the ball, so just get him off strike, get up the other end, and prolong this game as much as they can, I think.
Well bowled again.
Fraction leg side of the ball there, Jack. I think if he was a little bit more in line with it there, I think he probably would be a bit disappointed to miss out on that over cover, but
The under-19s batting coach.
Yeah.
Giving him some live feedback for when he watches this back later, if he watches it back.
Take note of that, Jack.
I imagine quite a few people will be watching this back for the highlights package of Nick Greenwood's innings, which could be at an end.
Yep. Freddie Harben with a catch. Freddie Harben, that's great to see. He's improved his catching tenfold this summer, so that's great to see. A catch under pressure. Well done, Freddie.
And that brings to an end, not flawless, but an absolutely wonderful innings there from Nick Greenwood, who has played a top-class innings, and for some reason the graphics come up. There we go.
There you go.
He is out now for an unbelievable innings. A pleasure to watch. Him at his best, no doubt, and striking nearly 296 has broken the back of.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for with Freddie taking the catcher, unfortunately for Ovies, it doesn't get much prettier with Julius Sumerauer walking to the crease. So, I mean, knowing Julius, this first ball could go for 6, or he could get caught on the fence.
For some reason, Julius has decided not to wear his own shirt. He does, in fact, have a
Eppeline
farmer's shirt.
Coward shirt. He's
I'm
got
not
on.
even sure who that is.
Could be Mike Coward.
Could be right. Okay. Right. So it is Julius Sumerauer, and he is going to play his shots. I don't think he's going to come in here and say, "Kempy, you whack it. I'll take my one," and get to the other end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, farmers are looking to get this done as quick as they can, I think. Yeah.
Good job from the youngster. So this is what we're
down.
talking about. This is the opportunity that a youngster's come in. He's been
It's
given a
good
chance. He's got 1 for 18 off his 2 overs, of which that 1 is Nick Greenwood, who batted
Good wicket.
like he was batting with a 1.
Yeah, with a
let's
with a,
say
about
that
3
much.
times the size.
It helps that they took the catch that time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the 3rd time of asking. I think if they're really harsh on themselves, they'll say if we take it first time, maybe the game looks a bit differently, but I mean, it is what it is. That can happen. So it's a little bit of rain out there. It's not the easiest catching conditions. So no, I'm pretty happy for Freddie taking that catch out there on the boundary, actually.
There you go, pressure catch.
Yeah.
Certainly those catches when you're a young lad and you know that not the game's riding necessarily on it, but it's see how we go with a change of bowling now. The captain
Skipper brings himself on now.
taking the ball, bit of off spin. See how it goes. Change of pace. Kempy will look to sweep him. That's his strength against spin.
He will look
A little bit skiddy though, so you've got to be a little bit careful here with this rain.
He will look
Back
to
foot,
he will look
one.
to slog sweep him sort of into that straight sort of cut off pocket down towards cow corner here.
Yeah.
Jack Julius will look to either use his feet or stand there and launch it over long on.
Yeah, Julius has developed a very simple technique, but very effective in triggering outside off stump to access the leg side. These boundaries aren't big enough if he gets hold of this ball.
Yeah, I mean if he's gone leg side of that one. If he gets hold of it at sort of 30%, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to go for 6. So he is not going to take his time here, which is exciting for the viewer. It's well bowled, nice length.
Kempy wants 2.
Can he stop 2?
Theo's got a good arm,
Yeah,
and
nice.
it's a bit of a wet square.
It's well
And he's
fielded.
also angry, so there might be an extra couple of miles an hour.
Yeah, there would be. Yeah, almost guarantee you that.
Under his bucket hat there, no doubt.
He
Frustrated
probably needs to get back
with
out
a
on the
few
boundary up
different
here.
things.
This is well bowled.
James Duckett, the experience showing, being able to execute here. Stemming the tide now. I think we've, obviously out the power play, 5 men out makes a big difference, but just starting to get a grip back onto this game. And as we say,
Can he make it there?
Yeah.
It's well fielded.
Fielded.
Yeah, well fielded. Very good fielder, Theo. Rocket arm, athletic, quick across the ground. Yeah, that's well fielded.
To speak to his personality and his mentality there, he's had 4 or 5 bits of fielding to do since having a difficult time with the ball, and every time
That's
he's
what we were
attacked
talking
it as
about.
hard as he can.
That's
And
that
is
pocket
6.
that Jack will look to sort of to hit. That's a very strong shot of his and something he will definitely continue to try and do.
Yeah, and from an OV's point of view, you're frustrated at that because you've gone for 3 off 5. You've just started to get some momentum back your way with a wicket. 1 ball to bowl. We talk as coaches about bowling in and out your over. Certainly with that last ball, you cannot in this situation afford to go for 6.
No.
But he has, and that's unfortunate for us. So what are we now? 8, 9 overs. Scoreboard's just having a bit of work next to us there to make sure they get the right person, but in live you're seeing it edited and he's done a good job to make up for it there, which is good. So James Wiseman continues, the young 15-year-old. Let's see what he's got.
Well bowled again. Nice length. That's a length that Julius will look to try and pick up and hit over sort of sort of mid-wicket cow corner, but probably a little bit of rain on there. That's probably skidded on, and that's well bowled.
Good lad. He's doing well here.
Yeah, this is good. That's a good cricket shot.
That is a lovely cricket shot.
Strong
from Jack
shot.
Kemp.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, it's gone all the way. That is good batting. That's not bad bowling at all. He's executed well, back of a length into the wicket, and the batter has attempted to, well, not attempted to, but he has tracked him, hit him back over his head for 6. Jack Kemp looking ominous,
Get
should
that
I say?
right,
It's been a long day. What are we now into? Yeah, a lot of overs old, and I haven't eaten that much today, so waning a little bit here in the commentary box, just like OVs are out in the field, a little bit riding on the emotions this morning. It was always difficult to then go back into this sort of mentality where they come sort of from such a high of this morning to then dealing with what they faced. But another good
well
ball.
bowled. Just, I think if Jack could just stay a little bit stiller here, I think there's probably a lot of moving going on. If he could stay a bit stiller and just aim at the side screens, potentially making it a little bit harder for himself. But I mean, what do I know?
Somebody might have to check the dictionary. Sorry, if stiller is in there, but
Sped up. That's
we'll
sped
have
up.
to check that one, and we'll come back to you. So another single out to the offside boundary, and we are now 137 for 1 off 9.4. Jack Kemp taking on the reins of Nick Greenwood's attacking role, doing it nicely. 33 off 22. I think it's a very mature innings from a young lad. This, he sort of was happy to be second fiddle to Nick, and then since he's disappeared, he's come in and said, you know what, I fancy it, and that's out.
That was. I've known Julius that was always going to be the case. There was going to be one of two. He was either going to knock this 34 off in sort of 2 overs, or he was going to get out. So, I mean, I don't mind that from him. That's the way he plays.
Yeah, and you don't mind that from him because no doubt you'll give him some stick after the game.
100%. I have enjoyed
part
that.
of it, being teammates. So let's just concentrate on the wicket. He's clearly trying to go across it. James Wiseman executing once again. Spoons one. He spooned it to backward point where Rob Duckett takes a low catch, but young James Wiseman, under a lot of pressure in a very difficult situation against some of Jersey's top batters, is performing brilliantly.
Yeah, fantastic. He's been really good so far. 2 wickets, two of the best bats to pick up. So. Yeah, it's a nice bit of camera work there as well.
He's bowling well, and it's great to see, and this is what OBs have done nicely in this final. They've given the youngsters opportunities. They're showing their hand, they're bowling well, and this is a great sign for the future.
Yeah,
well bowled.
That's well bowled. Yeah, that's sort of where you need to be to James Smith. Just back from that length and not letting him free his arms. That's well bowled.
Agreed. So, at the halfway stage, as Harrison leaves us, having done his 10 over stint, he's rushing off because the pints are going through him. He might be back with us, he might not. If not, it'll just be me for the last part as we go towards what will surely now be a Farmer's victory. It's 137 for 2. James Smith to the crease, 2 wickets for James Wiseman, all the Jameses. As James Duckett comes on to bowl, they're really making my job easy. As Jack Kemp continues with 33 off 22. Just 34 needed off the last 10 at 3.4 and over. Safe to say this game is going one way. And I'm, even after this morning's fight back from SOS, I am being quite confident in saying that 3.4 and over on this wicket with 8 wickets in hand and the batters that they've got to come is not enough for OBs to defend. But a fantastic day. They would probably, although they would want it to come and lift the trophy, no doubt. Everybody wants to win. Securing that semi-final spot and getting themselves to Spain is sort of target number 1, and then anything after that probably would have been a bonus if you speak to OVs. And it's well bowled right in the block hole as OVs are fighting back into me. I don't think we'll need the 9.4 overs. I think with 32 left. I'm joined by a big grin grinning groundsman, Dan, who looks like we're going to get through this game without a rain interruption, which is good considering the forecast that we saw at one point. So, Dan, if you could just sum up what we've seen today as we get towards the final stages.
I mean, obviously, extremely happy about how the wickets played. Pretty happy with how the boys have gone about their ways today in regards to batting. I know that there's been some chat of small boundaries or whatever, but I think every six that we've seen effectively today has gone a fair way over them ropes, so it doesn't really matter how big them ropes are in regards to where them sixes are going. So obviously I'm chuffed however many runs have been scored on this wicket today. It's been a fair amount, and there's been some great cricket played, so hopefully everyone at Greenville's enjoyed their day, and everyone that's watched the streams has enjoyed watching some. I mean, that knock there from Greenie is absolutely ridiculous batting. Sometimes you just got, as a bowler, I noticed young TP with his head down there, pretty gutted. I know that young James Wiseman as well, who dropped him, will be probably fairly gutted, but sometimes you just got to take your hat off and say, well batted.
Agreed. And I mean, you know, these sorts of wickets that are sort of batting friendly, let's say, it means the bowlers have less room for error. It means that the batters come into the game a bit more in high totals, but it's what we see across modern cricket. If you watch county cricket, watch international cricket at grounds all around the world, or certainly within England, these T20 scores are going up and up and up as the batters get more intelligent and more, maybe not more intelligent, but more improved. I mean, I think we've seen that today. You'll certainly not hear the batters complaining about the boundary sizes, but bowlers, you know, as one yourself, Dan, is, you know, a lot of the time you got to look at yourself. You're the one with the ball in your hand with the ability to affect it. A lot of the time it can be good batting, but ultimately if you stood at the top of your run-up and you have a good strong plan and you execute, you've got more chance of succeeding than not.
Yeah, definitely. Like we touched on it earlier about sort of executing your plan and backing your plans to 100%. Like, one thing that I would say maybe about this OV's defence here is it looks like they've sort of let that get to their head a little bit earlier. I mean, it's not ideal to see. Sort of, you kind of want to take this as deep as you possibly can. Yeah, hats off to Greenie and stuff with the knock that he's produced there. But at the end of the day, it's you've got to keep going right to the very, very end, and it looks like they've sort of shut up shop here.
Yeah, listen, James Wiseman, young seaman's come on and done himself the world of good here, with 2 wickets being Julius Sumerauer and Nick Greenwood, who was hitting it to all parts. Theo Pullman hasn't bowled well, but the attitude we've seen from him since, in terms of his fielding, has been unbelievable. You know, it would be very easy for a young, inexperienced cricketer to be at long on and get the ball hit to him and use the long barrier and let the ball come to him and stay back, but he's attacked every ball, he's dived all over the place, so you can't question his attitude towards performing, and no doubt his frustrations will be what they are, but it's been bowlers for OVs today in this final in particular wouldn't be going home thinking
definitely not. Like, I think that just sums up TP's character. Like, yeah, fair enough, he's gone around the park there, he didn't have a lot of luck in that spell that he's just bowled, but keeps doing his very, very best for the team, and that's what we see sort of week in, week out, throughout training, throughout the winter. All the hard yards that lad's put in have been class, so I don't think he should lose too much sleep over what's gone on there. I mean, we discussed it earlier about sometimes you just got to take your hat off and sort of appreciate when someone is in that sort of form or produces that sort of knock. And yeah, I mean, it's an extremely good player against a very good bowler as well, and sometimes they just get the better of you, and as we discussed earlier, it's probably a batting friendly wicket with batting friendly boundary rope, so I'll take full responsibility for that. If TP wants to come shout at me, then I'll be more than happy to take that on the chin. But
the opening bowler who builds a batting friendly wicket and puts the boundaries in for the batters, who would you believe?
I'm a batter now.
The rest of the seam group within the Jersey setup are not going to be thanking Dan at next training session, but from all of us who have witnessed today and the viewers and the people who have come here, they've been treated to a spectacle. 199 plays 199 with a super over, 170 on the board, and you say that's probably under par, shows some really good cricket. It means everyone gets better throughout the day. Batters build confidence, bowlers have to be on it. So this has been an absolute spectacle. So thanks to you, Dan, for your efforts. And of course, we're not done for the weekend.
No.
We're back tomorrow. I'm not
tomorrow.
back in the morning. I've got a bit of time at home with the little one to be doing, so I won't be here for the morning game, but I'll be with you for the afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, it's the same format, a semi-final with a final, with Chirpies taking on SOS 2s in the morning at 11 o'clock, and then the winner of that taking on Farmers 2s in the afternoon. Having looked at the squads, not many crossover of Farmers players. One in particular who's been in my... Oh, no, umpire stood strong there. Could have been a no ball, but no, on the way down. One who's been on my phone ringing it up is Mr. Firth, who was at the Gomersall's barbecue, who was gutted he didn't get his own shout out earlier when we were talking about that. I believe he'll be bringing his left-handed slogs, and he won't mind me saying that, to the game tomorrow. If you're here, you won't see much running between the wicket, but you will see him trying to swing himself off his feet, no doubt. And win or lose, he likes a beer, so no doubt he'll be in the bar after the game as well. So hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Hope you've enjoyed the viewings today as we sort of see Farmers tick down these runs. 20 now, down to 19 needed off the last 7 overs. Jack Camp playing a wonderful hand here with 42 off 33, and has really taken on the mantle nicely since Nick departed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he sort of played that supporting role of what we've seen. I mean, sometimes that is, you got the best seat in the house to witness a decent knock like that from Greenie, and I mean, I think the chat was coming off from the sides, the boys running out drinks, is like he was sort of gagging to have a hit. Kempy's another one, like another one of them young lads that have put like ridiculous hours in the winter and sort of worked really hard in his game. He started off the season really well, and then he's sort of gone through a little lull, so it's pretty nice to see him getting some runs here today, because I know how much work he's put in, and he's got a big 19s tournament ahead, and all of this sort of stuff is great for us to watch these lads coming through the ranks and start pulling their weight and scoring big runs in big games.
Now, a change of bowling that you wouldn't have put any money on. Looks like Charlie Brennan bowling from the far end, of which let's be polite and say that he doesn't usually bowl.
No, he definitely doesn't usually bowl, but this absolutely reeks of a wicket, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Oh, he's not seen the ball.
Mid-off hasn't moved. The long off, sorry, hasn't moved. And it's still 1, and Jack Kemp moves on to 43. So I believe the last time Charlie bowled, and he'll be happy to talk about it, would be the under-19s against Netherlands. I think he took 4 wickets and got Jersey over the line in a win.
Yes.
So it's not like he can't bowl. It's just that we wouldn't have had it down to see him bowl today. But he's got his off-spin on, and... oh dear. What you've seen there is one of the worst ways to get dismissed in cricket. If I could choose, it wouldn't be a way of getting out, but it's a real shame. And unfortunately, a really good knock there from a young batter is Jack Kemp departing for 43 off 34. He'll be annoyed, he'll be frustrated he didn't get to be there at the end, because he's done a massive effort there for his team, but he should be proud of his efforts. That was a great knock in a situation where he had to start playing second fiddle to Nick, but has taken that mantle on since. And 40, striking the way he was there for a 17-year-old lad in a final is very commendable. So a great knock from Jack. We see Chuggy walk to the wicket now, coming in at number 5. It doesn't keep getting much easier, but just looking at the replay I'm supplied with on the phone here, one of those really horrible, unlucky dismissals where the bowler has got a fingertip on it, the batter's out his crease, and he's having to walk.
I think the Farmers lads are going to probably try and look to get this done fairly soon, I imagine, by sending the skipper in. Chuggy, not the skipper of Farmers, obviously, the Jersey skipper. The axe man, as we like to call him. He's going to look to, if he does manage to get on strike, I think he's going to look to hone it out of the ground.
The last time we saw him in a live stream was getting Jersey home against Scotland in one of our most famous wins, and he's now back at the crease on the live stream hoping to get Farmers over the line. So yeah, it's been a fantastic innings. This has been ever since Nick got going, been a bit of a procession. You know, when an opener plays a knock like that within the power play with 170 on the board, you're always battling back. Young James Wiseman's really impressed for OVs today, picking up the wickets of Nick and Julius, so he should be proud of himself and hold his head up high for that. And we've now seen
What? Oh, he's caught it over the rope.
Yeah, I think what's happened there is that off the bat that was clearly 6. Young Freddie Harbin's caught it, but he's caught it 5 yards behind the rope, if not more. So from a distance and a large number of beers in an individual on a hill thinking it's out, it's actually gone for 6, and James Smith moves on to 16 off 12, and now Farmers require just 7 off 6 overs, so a required run rate of 1.17. Dan, who are you backing?
I think this is
We've
this is gonna seal it. I think
we've really hit, and I don't think he'll be too annoyed for me saying the bottom of the barrel when it comes to bowling, because Jamie Watling, who definitely doesn't bowl and hasn't ever bowled really, is now coming into bowl, and I can't tell if that was a slower ball.
that was a slower.
Do you think that was a slower ball?
I reckon he's
or
got
is
a
that the
bit.
pace
I
that
reckon
he
he's
usually
got a
bowls
bit.
at? I cannot work it out.
Big
We'll see in
Jambo.
this ball if there's an effort ball behind him. Certainly, looking at the physique, he's got the ability to bowl quicker than that, but I'm not sure if he actually has the technique to bowl. No, that's definitely not the technique you need to be successful in cricket. Just when I didn't think the day of what we've had so far couldn't get any stranger or different, Jamie Watling is at the top of a run-up.
I think if we were
horrendous no balls with Farmers now scores level and 1 run to win, and Jamie Watling with the ball in the hand. I think this is only going to go one way, Dan.
Yeah, I think if the punters here at Granville had paid for tickets there, I think they would have got exactly what they paid for, if not more, as the game gets closed out here with a short ball.
With that run, Farmers have won the game, and you've got to take your hats off to them. An absolute wonderful second innings, which starred by Nick Greenwood, taking 90 off just 30 balls. When you've got 170 on the board, you're in the game at the halfway stage, but when batters bat like they have done in this Farmers innings, it was only ever going to go one way. So Farmers win by 7 wickets. A fantastic performance from them, very clinical. You'd have to say OVs from that emotional standpoint this morning. The highs and the lows, certainly this afternoon, weren't at the races. They've done themselves proud. They've gone out there and fought as long as they could until they obviously gave Jamie Watling the ball, but apart from that, they fought as hard as they could. Obviously, a lot of thank yous go in before we finish the stream to the man on my right hand side for, I get to sit in the office and see just the hours that him and Pete put into the ground, for how well it looks, but also for how well it plays. Big thank you, Dan. That's a massive part of today. This doesn't happen without you and Pete. Big thank you to the officials as well for their efforts today with difficult scenarios at times, in particular the Sumerauer ruling, but at the same time some rain around, and obviously to the players who have put on an absolute spectacle. Hope you guys at home who have been watching throughout the day or tuned into various live streams have enjoyed it. I'm glad we've been able to bring it to you. It's a big part of what we're trying to do here at Jersey Cricket and offer some more club cricket, some exposure, certainly here in Jersey with the amount of talent we've got. And there's more for you tomorrow. We'll be back live from hopefully 11 a.m. if the weather plays ball. Ward Jenner will be in the commentary box for the first game, taking you through the semi-final of the Division 1 T20, and then in the afternoon I'll be back with Ward to bring you the final against Farmers 2s, whoever makes it, either Chirpies or SOS 2s. Big thank you to the camera crew as well. A lot of time and effort stood on the hill. Mark there with his camera on his trench has been stood there for a long time, and a big thank you to everyone behind the scenes. So from us, that's all. We've got a short presentation coming to the winning team with the player of the match, and we'll see you hopefully on the live stream, if not at Granville, for the Division 1 finals day tomorrow.
Ta-ra.